Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Team Fortress TV 2 for our ETF2L Summer 2023 Premiership Qualifiers between Garda Panteri and Wheelchair Emoji. My name is Lucky, and tonight I'm joined by Samus on production and Cerny as my co-cast. How's it going, buddy?
Hello. I'm doing good. I'm looking forward to seeing which one of these teams are going to make their way into Prem for this season. Because, in case you didn't know, whoever wins this tonight, this best of three, immediately gets a ticket into Prem to then be absolutely dunked on by Witness. And then the other team has to fight once more against whoever's losing the other match that is on TFTV1. So we'll get to see a lot of these teams, hopefully. Either way, we'll get to see a lot of them.
For your entertainment as well. Like, we just get to watch these teams batter against each other until they get mushed by some other teams in Prem. And you mentioned it before that we even started watching this game, that it's going to be a who is even going to come close to Witness this season. And we got to see if any of these teams feel like they're going to be up to the task to see who can slay the Titans, and among some of the other teams as well that are currently established and playing in the Premiership scrim pool that there is. It's a weird little stack. I might talk about it some more later, but we'll just run down the rosters because we're probably going to go live soon. We've already got 12 players on the server. So we have Wheelchair, who are sporting Zin Soldat, Scout, Hexery Scout, Playgray Demoman, Warped on the Soldier, Rythorn, who's standing in for another Soldier, and Lenny as the Medic. So this team seems pretty good. They've got some good names. Previously mostly known as Natty Newt last season. How do you feel about this team, Cerny?
I've seen this team play as well in like even before last season when they were in Div 1 still. They did extraordinarily well. They are a very strong team. They have very strong scouts. Obviously, I mean, Warped and Ryan are no slouches either, even if I think maybe even neither of them are Warped is, I think, roster. But yeah, Ryan is obviously standing in, so who knows? Playgray, very strong player. Lenny making his Prem-ish debut, I suppose. So we'll see how that goes. And then they're going up against Garda Panteri, Prem mainstays for years now. You got Mankey and Butts soldiers, Shappy and Kilsis, no, Menix and Kilsis, my bad, on the scouts, Shappy on demo, and then you have Theos rounding out the roster on the medic class. But much of this roster we know about already. We know all these players. We've seen them before.
Yeah, we have indeed. They are pretty good. Div 1 champions, and also have the most players from Greece who have played Prem. So that's a good summary for that team. But
one? Is that
two?
Two, okay.
Two, wow. Anyway, we have now gone live already, Cerny. We're going. We're heading into Snakewater.
Let's see how this first little Snakewater mid-fight for these teams is gonna go then. Who's gonna be setting the tone for the rest of tonight, and who's gonna be taking charge in this first little one. Shappy a bit faster to mid here than his counterpart, but that doesn't mean much if the rest of the team is there to back him up in time either way, so we're just gonna be looking at a bit of a passive mid from both teams so far. Not much going on, nobody will one-jump. Warp is gonna make the first move, go high up in the sky. Ryan following up as well. Everybody's getting juggled on the other side of Garda, but they're not really finding any frags, actually. They only find Bud, and that's it. So counter-aggression from Garda is going to be much deserved here onto mid, and they're actually just gonna waltz across as Wheelchair have decided, yeah, that was a bit of a botched bomb. We've lost our demo, we've lost a soldier. We're just gonna keep backing out into second tier. And stand up round.
Not here is now it's a 4v4. They've still got one capping, but lots of damage has been dealt, and it's going to force out Lenny. So now they're going to have to use. It's a terrible loop, but they're going to be weak after this. And Warp is on Batsky all alone. The scouts is left out to try. Zin Soldat to get shoved all the way. But yeah, but the soldiers recommitting. They're going to head in through grass. Warp is going in, even though he's low HP, and they're going to start retaking this room here. Finds two. It's Shappy though. Great stickies there. They kill Warped off as well. They're going to have to go all the way back to last, but they can't. Bud's in behind. He's cleaning up absolutely everyone. It's a crunch.
That is a beautiful wipe. You love to see it, especially on second light. That's a free round right there. You've got your first round in the bag already. There's a couple of respawners. They're going to try their best, but these scouts cannot do much against the full team just bringing their entire force onto that point. That's a quick first round for Garda. Less than 2 minutes on the clock for that one. That's incredible.
Indeed. You've got to understand as well, Cerny, that coming into this game there was some bad blood. Warped left Shappy's roster prior to this, so Shappy had to scramble and find a last-minute team. So this is a little bit of a grudge match as Shappy has joined Garda, but we're going into another minute.
They're going to be having bad blood here indeed. Let's see if they can keep that momentum up though, Garda. They have to keep this up for another 28 minutes. Then just a quick 2-minute round ain't everything. There's a lot more to go in this match, so we'll see if this time the mid goes a bit better for Wheelchair. Warp going high once more, decides not to commit too much this time, and doesn't quite die instantly. Playgray taking a lot of damage to a point though, just barely living as Nobody has died just yet. Everybody's still clinging on by a thread, and it's going to be counter-aggression by Garda now, with positions for Wheelchair just so out of place. Playground gets second up, but they find Theos on the other side. Even if you trade out 2 players for it, that's a pretty big pickup here for Wheelchair. Make it 3 players, but still. Picking up that med, keeping Lenny alive, keeping yourself safe on second now. Just watch out for that butt bomb that could be coming here any second, and you should be fine. Hopefully.
Yeah, that's the kind of problem that you've got when you're the red team here and they're doing these fake bombs and fading around. You can't really do that on Snakewater. You've either got to commit and slowly take ground, but you see how the blue team are playing. They're just waiting for those soldiers to do those bombs. You clean them up and then you start going forward to the rest of your team. But they don't really do that. But they managed to clear up the medic in the end. A little bit scrappy, so they only just came away with it. And now they have an Uber advantage to play with. They luckily keep hold of second. They do need to be aware of this back habitat that's going to come from Class here, who's holed up in kitchen. If they don't check this flank, it's going to be disastrous. They spot a soldier, so they spot Mankey, and they know that they want to do this backup kind of attempt here. There's no one in place to kind of force them, but 2 are going in on the flank right now. But Rhythorn, he's doing such a good job holding them back, and Mankey is going to feed his life away in kitchen as well. So they're going to take this mid and maybe some more.
Yeah, they've certainly got a free nice ticket into second here as well. If they're fast enough, they could make use of that ad, but that's very unlikely to happen at this point. Theos is going to have an Uber, so it is going to be an equal situation, but it is players for Wheelchair as well. Nice little bump by Ryan, gets a bit of damage onto Theos, but that is surfed away. Theos in a world of hurt right now, just stuck down there in the pit, but nobody's there to follow it up out of Wheelchair, so the medic will stay safe for now, and Garda stabilizes, and maybe if they're feeling cheeky, they could even be a bit more aggressive here. Ryan is still down for the count for now, and if they can sneak somebody in, that is certainly a play perhaps waiting to be made. But for the time being, they're just prodding some doors, they're just being a little bit cheeky with it, seeing if they can get some spam that you know, opens up a door here for them, but nah, the aggression comes in now. Warp is just making room, and he's just gonna try to jump in, actually. Gets on the field as well. So much damage on him, he has to pop, otherwise he would have dropped 2 fall damage. Well.
Yeah, well. Nice. I mean, that was really, really good there. I mean, Garda, they really wanted to hold close, which is a big mistake. You don't really want to sack if you're the defending team and pressuring that hard into mid. And then Warp finds the perfect window to go in, showing his experience, honestly. And as they start dropping back, none of them are in position to stop him from bombing. He goes in, perfect timing, lands on the mid, gets the force, simply. And now we're in a situation where the red team, they're going to start trying to bust here. They really do not want to have to use the supercharge coming through this, as they want to turn this into a last to get a counter around him. Bud's going in for a pop bomb, pencil dives into Lenny's face. He doesn't quite find the last rocket. Lenny is weak, but he doesn't find it.
Quite scary there, but Lenny has faith in his team to clean up that soldier, and it does work out. A bit of an early kill there onto Warp, but it's not gonna matter too much if they have an Uber getting into last year. They've really cleaned up the sentry, they cleaned up Shappy as well, but it's just not gonna be respawning. But they haven't really found much ground off the tail end of that Uber. Ryan can't quite get around to get anything done with his bomb either, so Wheelchair are gonna have to back out here again. They didn't quite get what they wanted with it, a bit too slow with the Uber, didn't quite get the ground, maybe too good of a kite by Garda as well, and now they're on second again.
There was a little bit of a question mark moment there where Lenny decided he was going to shoot an arrow at Theos rather than heal his soldier who went in for the bomb, who immediately got shredded by the scouts. So could have gone a little bit differently if he landed the arrow, but irregardless. Looks like Playground's going to find a trap kill on second. This is going to slow them down massively. And if you are Garda, you are thinking about going back to last here. This is Snakewater, is notoriously hard to push, and they are going to do exactly that. Head back to last, play it safe, get that sentry gun built, as red team are going to now find their Uber.
Yeah, it's going to be an equal situation once more. Tilsis will be up in time. There's no doubt about that either. And Wheelchair being a bit careful here as well. They're being careful with even just getting into lobby. They don't quite know what's expecting them on the other side. Finally, sentry's being built, so maybe if they're fast enough, they could actually just go in before that's even really much of a threat. Ryan is trying to do exactly that, manages to take it down and pay with his own life. So a soldier for a constructing level 1 sentry is probably the worst trade in history, as Bud now makes his way forward, trying to get into the enemy team. He gets very close to Lenny, but does not hit a single bit of damage. All he took was a bit of chip damage from a scout, so
they lose Mankey in the door as well. 2 being down here is really bad. They're going to be able to take the super into last. They're just going to use it off, which is good. They're going to kill off the scout, but the super has not been used by the blue team just yet. And they're not going to get the force either. Oh, they do now, actually. Theos using that onto the heavy. Maybe a little bit of a mistake. They could have had a full Uber to use just to move out of last if they decide to drop the heavy there, but they decide to keep him alive with the Uber, and they're just going to stalemate on last. And now they're just going to be chilling out, not really doing much, but they do swap off the heavy. The heavy class is gone, so they're really going to pressure this. Rifle does go down, but Playgray is still hammering those doorways with sticky bombs. Class is going to move in, walks on the defense, gets to the player in cheese. So this is going to hold off this aggression from Garda Panteri. They're going to have to go back to last, but red team, they smell blood in the walls, so they're going to start going forwards.
They got Zin on Sniper here as well, which is quite an interesting choice. I guess they are expecting this to be more of a stalemate going forward, even though they would have had a nice opportunity to maybe dry push this. But I guess Ubers are equal at the end of the day. They do have a heavy on the defensive side as well, so you can't fault them. So I'm going to try to bust this open with a Sniper instead, see if they can get that boy hitting some heads, perhaps. That would certainly open things up a little bit. But Garda also well aware of the threat that this could pose, and Hex just overextending ever so slightly, gets stuck in the door and immediately doinked on the head. So that's not gonna happen for the time being. Now with a player down and a Sniper just locking down the sideline, Kills is on the other side trying to counter snipe. Does lose that duel.
Don't you dare, sir! Zin's not too powerful. This guy on Sniper is kind of a bit crazy, so you gotta watch out for that. But I don't know if you saw quite where the rocket landed to kill Hexery in the door, but it was the most perfect rocket in the world. It bounced right on the door frame, inside of the door. Just dumps him on the head. Beautiful stuff. But yeah, we do have the Sniper who's going to be peeking the classic shutter angle. This is a really good angle. But Theos is in the perfect position here. If you stand on the low ground, you cannot get sniped from any angle. You are perfectly safe. But soldiers can stack directly on your face, but this heavy is going to say absolutely not. And he gets launched in the air.
That's what he's for. Red just dropped. Lenny just dropped. I was not watching, but Mankey snuck in somehow. Yeah, and he gets out too. He's alive still. How is this man alive? He's on 11 health. The perfect crime. He got away with it somehow. Nobody saw it happen. At least I didn't. he just gets away with it. Unbelievable. Now Garda are in a prime position to take this out into second here. Obviously, you're gonna have to try. Yeah, Ryan trying to do a little bit of a cheeky play there. Nobody else on Wheelchair really trying to commit too much to this. Sensing if he can maybe get himself a little bit of a snipe, but it's not gonna happen. Warped in for a bomb. Manages to trade out for Shappy at the end of the day. They find Manix as well. Manky actually, Plague Rage is going huge, and he's on 2 health. How is he still going?
He got the bow, he's alive! That's incredible. Oh, they're getting second. They're going to retake second as well. It looks like Garda, they just leave. It's a pretty good retake there from the side of Wheelchair. Wheelchair emoji, what do we call them?
Let's call them Wheelchair.
That picture that we've got at the top there of the screen on the stream is absolutely amazing. The prey hands with the cat, I love it.
That is a good team image actually. I like when teams have nice images like that. Yeah, it's always so sanitized when you have like an esports logo. It would never look like that, you know?
Yeah. What about a wheelchair, but there's a G Fuel logo inside of the wheelchair, like the wheelchair?
The G is the wheel.
Yeah, the G is the wheel. Oh, absolutely.
Graphic designers take notes. Anyway, we've got another sniper here, but Zinzaldad is going to get the first pop onto Bud, and Menix is his opponent this time around, trying to see if he can peek into lobby here a little bit, seeing if he can find somebody who's a bit overextended. Unfortunately, all he's walking into is a carpet of stickies that Plague Ray is laying down, so he's going to have a hard time really getting the angle he wants to here. And they're just putting on the pressure out of the side of Wheelchair, but they have yet to find their way actually pushing this last. They've been trying, they've been throwing stuff at it, but it is Snakewater at the end of the day. Unless you really wipe the team, you're gonna have a hard time completing your push. And
oh, Ryan's in. He's been spotted out by the heavy, but it's a bit too late. Oh, Nielsen's launched. Oh, the rockets are there though. Whoops from the low ground, just hits a greasy little direct and manages to get the force off.
Fair enough, that's all it takes. You've sacked both of your soldiers, now you just gotta hang on to second here, which they're gonna be very scared to push out as Garda. They noticed that the sniper on the other side, they know what Plague Ray just did last fight as well. Even if they retake this, they don't have the ability to hang on to it for long, but already pays with his life as well. Yeah, it's gonna be real aggression coming out of Wheelchair immediately. Ryan's already bombing in deep. Killsys is gonna give that point up as well. Yeah. They're gonna have to get back to last, and now with that full Uber in store as well. Wheelchair are primed and ready to try and take this into last. The sentry is there. They have to work with that.
Well, Garda have to go for a back cap attempt here, otherwise it's going to go south very quickly. If they go for a back cap and get that cap, they cannot cap last, which is one thing that they should be aiming to do here. But Red Team come with the charge. The gun takes a little while to go down. The point is basically able to be played here. Plague Ray is going to launch into that doorway. No one supports him whatsoever, and they're just feeding 2 away. The back cap does come through in the end, so that's exactly what I was talking about before. Zinzaldad going to get ran down the shot. Sniper has no chance here. It's just Lenny left alive, and he is going to take a 1v1 effectively with Mankey. Mankey has spotted him. He's chasing after him. And who's going to win this MG? Exclamation mark at Snakewater mid. Mankey skips across.
Oh, no.
Big mistake. Lenny hits a Giga Surf, ends up on the roof, surfs around, dodges a rocket.
Oh my god!
Oh, very upsetting. I thought he was going to live for a moment.
Manix is there to seal the deal, to ruin the fun, spoil the 1v1, and just clean up that kill. Very late left death out of Lenny here. I mean, Theos was already gonna have ad anyway, but like this is gonna be the fullest of full ads you've ever seen in your darn life. They're gonna take this to second and probably to last as well, because it's gonna be a tough one. for Wheelchair to just try and stabilize. They can try to hold last. It's doable. It is Snakewater at the end of the day, but maybe it's Insoldat getting a nice little snipe here out of forward spawn. They are aware of it, though. They're going Saw side instead, just not really trying to take too many risks here with even peeking the sniper side line, and they've actually slowed down quite a bit out of Garda. Maybe they respect it too much. Maybe they don't want to go without Bud, I suppose.
Yeah, they can't really clear this all the angles that they need to if the sniper is up. They get one pick and then it takes a little while to go through, and you can't get enough people through all of the doors and hold off this sniper. So waiting around for their player is pretty good. Maybe they have counted the Ubers wrong, which I think is actually how it's happened, because Lenny is nowhere near getting his Uber, and Hexer is actually on last building a sentry gun. So, I mean, they were very prepped to just say, hey guys, guess what? We're holding last, and not a single one of Garda Panteri is peeking a door to say, hey guys, they're still holding on bats.
Yeah, then now there goes that Uber ad. Just gone completely. Reduced to atoms, it is no longer existent, and now they're gonna move in the even situation. Mike is gonna set himself into cheese and just clear out a little bit of space there, maybe get his team a little bit forward as well. He's just gonna get shot out of the air though. Anti-air has been deployed. Nobody is going to be flying in this airspace. And
that's a Hexery's insult, that airspace right there.
Yeah, the anti-air flak cannon has been very successful on that shot at least. So we're gonna see maybe a little bit of a counter aggression out of Wheelchair. They are still running that sniper. He's gonna be quite aggressive here as well. He's walked out of the forward spawn, so he's committing to it, at least for the time being. Maybe he's gonna walk back now and go to scout. I think that's what he's doing, but he got what he needed, and he got, most importantly, they got Garda out of Saw, so now they find themselves in a better position to hold the second point a little bit more aggressively, maybe go for a counterplay as well. It's gonna be on which team wants to do the first move here and try to get that Uber out. I mean, Menix is switched to sniper on the other side now, so...
I mean, yeah, here's the thing. When you're the team that's in the lead on Snakewater, you don't actually have to rush anything. 1-0 is bigger than it looks, because, I mean, we got that 1-0 in the first, 2 minutes of the game, and now we're down to 15 minutes remaining on the clock. So we've spent the last, 13 minutes just being chilling between last, mid, and second.
That's where we chill, yeah.
Yeah,
we love that.
Getting a sniper, I mean, slowing the game down like this, I get that there's still only a 5-minute round timer, but you can do this if you're the team that's in the lead. You can just play slow, play a little bit more safe, but you don't have to worry. But they're going to take the super trade in. This is a very interesting tactic to go for. Very late use from Theos, so they're going to have to retreat with the supercharge, and they do lose Insoldat for it. But the upside is that they have a sniper on the blue team, so they haven't got one frag game class still in the midst of things, but the blue team are now rushing in absolutely everywhere, trying to get in. Arrows coming out, pinging off shots to Menix, trying to find what you can, but it doesn't actually matter if anyone dies here, to be honest. It's going to just survive on the low ground for a long, long time. Shappy eventually walks all the way in, and Rifon is going to get caught as well. Good picks from the side of Garda Panteri, maybe an over-aggressive trade from the side of Wheelchair.
Yeah, they were a bit ambitious with that one. Really far back, really early pop. Nobody on Garda was even close to being in danger of that Uber. And then, since all that, maybe missing a few too many meat shots as well, not getting the damage to even make Theos be in any fear and having to pop. So that Uber trade did not go in their favor. Now they've lost second forward, but at the very least, they come out with even Ubers at the end of the day. So, you know, they're not too far behind. It's not going to be disastrous now for Wheelchair to try and hold this loss and maybe turn the game around once more. But they are around down. They are playing from behind at this point, so they really have to try picking up the pace here. Not just hold last, but also try to actually somehow go coast to coast once more.
Yeah,
but we'll see how well they hold.
Yeah, this is the thing that you have to remember when you're a defending team. You've got more than 10 minutes left. You've got 14 minutes left on the clock, so 4 minutes goes away, you've got 10 minutes left to get another round on the board, even if you hold last for the entire time. But Warp is going in, see what you can do. Doesn't manage to find anything else. You moved into the class of Menix airspace, and you cannot enter that without a free fly pass, and unfortunately did not have one of those. So straight back into the respawn queue he goes, but they are going to be more than happy holding that, I think, for the time being. So just chilling, relaxing, building that level 3 sentry gun, getting that Iron Fortress hold. Bud gets absolutely imploded by Playgray, and that'll slow him down some more.
He was trying. Let my man cook, okay? He was trying to walk in on that side. Maybe one day it's gonna work.
He got Titan submarined.
Yeah, I was gonna make that reference, but you took it from me. Oh well.
I got that first. I was counting down who's gonna get that one first.
As it stands, though, yeah, I mean, Garda are they're taking it slow as well. They're not really like trying to do much here. They're just, oh yeah, Mankey's gonna walk into lobby now, seeing he can get a little bit of a cheeky scuffle here with Warped, a little bit of a body shot as well. Sends him back to the dispenser, so at the very least they've got lobby secured now, but are they gonna be able to take this forward any further as well? Ryan's gonna try to put some damage down. They actually find some spam onto the sentry, so Bud's gonna take that down. A headshot gets rung off as well by Menix, but it does not result in a kill. Unfortunately for him, so he's gonna have to just back out again, and with Bud down, obviously, they gotta give up lobby as well. So it's just a classic Snakewater stalemate shenanigans. At least right now.
Yeah. Lenny is just being chilling. He's got a dispenser armor as well. It's level 2 dispenser, so it's going to add a decent 150 HP to his HP effectively because, you know, defends you from projectiles, which is still a silly mechanic, but here we are.
That's how it be.
That's how it be. Garda Panteri, they're going to be chilling with their sniper. They've chosen for the medic sniper. Once again, they're going to slow the game down, just get the sniper out, see what they can do. But I don't think medics really compares to the sniper department as inside that. So if I was going to put it, I'd put him, I don't know, 25% chance to kill inside that if he gets a peek.
Well, maybe he doesn't even have to kill the other sniper. Maybe he can get a more crucial target regardless. You never know. He might just get a cheeky angle. Mankey's seeming to make some space here. At least he tried to. Ryan is not going to close that drop down off immediately. Not going to happen. But it was worth trying at the very least. And they're trying to maybe go for a low degree shutter peek here as well. They're really trying to see if they can get medics into the groove here, seeing if he can find the frags or the angles he wants. They're really struggling to get enough ground or even just like peek an angle because like Wheelchair is so aggressive with holding these doors right now. Like Plague's got the entire right side on lockdown. He doesn't even respect medics. He's just gonna stand there and try to pipe them down. Nobody else is there to really back up that sniper either. It is such a tough hold for Garda to break right now. They're really struggling, I feel, to find an answer. This is the hold that you want if you're the red team. I mean, also you got to watch these soldiers. These soldiers will be the make or break of this entire thing. There's no way you're getting past Plague on the right side. Not a single way. So you've got to try and bust lower or this left-hand side if you're going to do anything at all. But if you just watch Warped and how he plays this entire area, this man is so quick at jumping to the other spot where he needs to be. If he's holding lower and Ryan calls there's players heading that way, he'll jump up to the high ground and help out as a soldier and drop down to the low ground to help out Lenny. Just at the blink of an eye, he's just slick. He's all over. It's such a quick one to do as well because they're just right next to each other. The verticality really doesn't add that much if you're a soldier at the end of the day. So yeah, it's gonna be tough for Garda here. I mean, they're starting to feel the timer a bit. They know they're up around. If it goes to a round reset, they're not gonna be too upset about it. But obviously they're starting to feel the heat a little bit. They want to make something with this Uber happen. They hung on to it for like almost 4 minutes. They want to have something happen. And finally, something does happen. Unfortunately, that Uber exchange is not going their way. Menex is going to lose a sniper duel in the meantime to Zinzoldat as well, and it looks like Wheelchair are just going to be content with holding on for longer, because honestly, at this point, pushing out is kind of a bad idea. You can push out and reset the round timer, or you can just wait for the round reset and get 2 points for the price of 1.
Here comes the pub push, Sonny. It's my favorite time. It's the conch. They're sending it in. Headshot brings down to class, and the entire push is absolute pants. There's a 450 HP heavy staring down a conch soldier, and it does absolutely nothing. 6 seconds remaining. Everyone's just saving their lives.
Yeah, they don't want to feed any more kills into the sniper here. Come on, you can't do that. Well, we're gonna go to a round reset after. Yeah, that was like almost a 20-minute long round. That's Snakewater, everybody. Snakewater.
Oh god, these changes. Anyway, yeah, that's very atypical and very meta of how things are kind of going right now. So let's see if they're going to change up the mids on the side of Wheelchair. They have been going for bombs, but Garda Panteri have been playing this really defensive style, just catching soldiers and killing them off. So we'll see what they do this time.
We'll see indeed if Warp can find a target for once, or if he's gonna maybe switch up this entire mid entirely. Maybe they're just gonna become doing it different. He's gonna go the other side this time around. They're really aggressive actually on their own kitchen side here, and it's working out for them. Avon kills this immediately. Get a bit of aggression in their combo as well. Lenny, a bit of a dangerous spot here. He's probably gonna die. He does indeed, but they find everybody else on the other side. It's only Bud left alive for Garda here. He is quite healthy, and he might win the duel against Hex here, but he's certainly not gonna win against Warped helping out as well. And that is a 1 mid for Garda. Not quite the cleanest one you could have had. No, sorry, not a 1 mid for Garda, for Wheelchair. Not the cleanest one you could have had, but it did work out in the end, and they're gonna probably try to take us into second as well.
Yeah, it's a good start if you want to make a comeback happen, but that's exactly what I mean, by the way, when you eventually go to this hole, you hold on to your last, you get the round reset, and you just chill. You go straight back to another mid-fight. If you win that mid-fight, it puts you in a very good position to make a round come back in your favor, rather than just pushing out last. So they're going to be going in here. This is a good set play here. Warps is going in nice and deep, ends up on bats. Good damage being done to Shields, but they find Shappy, which is still a very good pick here. And it is going to be the Garda Panteri have to leave. Mankey is in behind, but has been spotted by Hexery. He's causing some pressure, and Hexery's just keeping an eye on him. He goes in now for the bomb, ends up with the low ground. Warps and Himmer and Star.
Oh!
Fuck it out!
Lovely one, that one. The air duel NS being called in chat. You love to see that as well. Good manners all around. Wowee. That's the type of stuff you love to see in the preseason frag movie, but no! Lenny drops on 99%! It's so over! It's so over for Wheelchair. They will never financially recover from this.
God,
The economy's in shambles. They have to go all the way back to mid.
Control point is being captured.
Ladies and gentlemen, just a quick point of order. Just don't go through the door if you don't have 100%. You never know what's gonna leap on top of you if you're blind. Just don't do it. Just get your Uber.
Oh, well, that's a roller coaster of emotions right there. If I had high blood pressure, I'd probably be suing these gamers for what just happened. My poor heart wouldn't be able to handle it. Fortunately, I don't have that problem.
That was just classic. We hit an air shot. Let's fucking send it, boys.
Let's go.
And then they just screw it up massively. Just everyone gets really hyped. They're like, oh yeah, boys, we just hit a sick air shot. They run in, they just die. Fantastic.
Another try, another attempt here. They got a second shot. They got 7 minutes roughly left, so there's always an opportunity to try and get another round on the board, take it to a golden cap, that sort of shenanigans. But they're gonna have to go up against equal Uber situations this time in second, so it's gonna be a bit harder to bust your way in here. Warp going in deep early, Ryan following up as well. Lots of pressure onto Theos here, but nobody's finding the kill. Nobody is getting that damage onto that Athletic whatsoever. He's just being elusive, he's being a little slippery, and immediately there's counter-aggression out of Garda as well. They've taken all of Saw already, pressuring out all of these Wheelchair players, making sure that they're all the way back out to mid. Nothing to worry about, nobody behind them. There comes the aggression out of Mankey as well. Lots of damage onto Playgrade, doesn't quite get the kill though. And with that, they've turned the tide once more.
Yep, very, very classic stuff. But that set play is very, very, very classic from these guys. You bomb Warped onto Bat, so everyone turns around to look at Warped. And it looks like he's just going in for a bomb straight away this time. Good rockets, good damage. Second bomb comes in. Ryan's finding the shots, and he does get the force, but looks like they are going to sack 3 for it this time around. And I'm not quite sure if that's even worth it, because they're going to lose mid, and by the time that they manage to get players enough and they walk back into mid, they're either going to get force or they're going to manage to get mid back. So it's going to do absolutely nothing for them, I think.
Yeah, unless they pull out a miraculous push here, I feel like this is not going to do much for Wheelchair at all. They just basically reset the tables. So we'll see how well this push goes for them. They find Shappy, but they did lose Hex in the meantime. He was just dropped out of the Uber ever so slightly. Mankey gets beat up behind, but they find Warped and Ryan as well. And it's not looking all that great for them with this push. At like losing 3 players here, that's really not what you wanted, especially with Theo staying alive as well. You've accomplished nothing. You've basically accomplished nothing over the past 2 minutes. You've just wasted your time.
Yeah, and Shappy gets that forward spawner as well. So if Shappy doesn't get that forward spawner, then they're able to push into second. Looks like they do want to be aggressive here, but Theos, like I mentioned before, he's just going to have that Uber ad now. So they're going to try and make this push happen. They want to get this force in second, but since all that immediately going down to a trap, that's going to spell absolute disaster. Hexery trades it out, but dies on his own as well, so not quite the trade you're looking for. And now they're down 2 players. They cannot afford to lose another player here, but Bud feeds his life away. It's just a feed train, Serdi, and now Garda are going to go back.
Everybody, I'm sure everybody is feasting right now. Those logs be getting padded by players feeding in, and I'm happy for anybody who gets to be on the receiving end of those feeds. However, it's not accomplishing much for either team. That's the problem. Both of these teams are just sitting here, and I think Garda is actually enjoying it. They're like, well, every minute that's taken off the clock is a minute that they're closer to winning this map altogether. But I don't have to worry about going another round or anything like that. So the pressure is building on Wheelchair here. They have to start making something happen. Warp goes in for a deep bomb once more. Gets a little bit of damage on Theos. There's a follow-up by Ryan as well, but neither of them really find the target. Theos, how does he live? He forces his will. I don't think he had to, but he does, I guess.
I didn't catch it on the stream, but it was incredible. What actually happened was Warped did another jump off of Bats. Ryan chucks him in the air, and Warped Goombas him back down to Earth. And then has to somehow scramble to get the last rocket off. And eventually gets the fourth. Anyway, back in the game, we have got a full Uber just getting pushed directly into second. It's a 3v5 for them, effectively, because all their respawners are, like, rolling out currently. Bud's going to bomb back away. Class has been left to die on second on his own. And now they're going to take this point here. They have got an Uber disadvantage, but they got 3-player advantage. Plenty of space to move into last hit, certainly.
If they go fast enough, at least. Medics and Mankey are both going to be spawning right now, so they have to lock down these doors. They have to lock down the space, get some cap time going, pressure these players onto the point, and they're doing a lovely job at it, cleaning up everybody just before they can even touch the block. And there you go. 1-0 3 minutes left, which means realistically we're going to the golden cap.
We have a goddamn game on our hands. This is down to the wire. If there's a major mid-win, it could be everything here. So I think both teams, they're going to take their time and see what they can do here. I think the Wheelchair have finally figured out these mids. Head over to the left side instead of bombing the right side with the meds playing passive and you're good. But Shappy rolling out to the right side. Theo's doing the same rollout as before, certainly, so we'll see what happens.
We'll see exactly how it happens, as, yeah, it looks like these wheelchair soldiers are being much more passive this time around. Matter of fact, both teams are being much more passive. Neither team really wanting to commit too much early, go for a crazy fast bomb or anything like that. Just scout out your other positions, see what you can get accomplished here, maybe land some nice little stickies or something like that, go off the back of that butt, trying to take some high ground, just, well, runs into warped, and now the scuffle has undergone its way up top, but they trade out Bud for Hex. There goes Ryan as well. It's looking kind of bad for Wheelchair. They've lost a couple of players here. They are bunched up, and the Uber's actually going to get popped off already. Lenny just built so quickly. He gets to pop it off early. Unfortunately, they didn't find Theos in the meantime. He's got a way better Uber, and they're just bleeding players now. Lenny is running away from a Menix chasing him down, and that's going to be that. Effectively a wipe on mid for Wheelchair, but they at least have a couple of spawners ready to try and hold last here, so it might not be over just yet.
I am fully unsure as to what the use was on mid there. Lenny could have held the Uber the whole time and been fine. They had so much damage at mid down to Garda, and they were so far away from Theos that they were not going to get healed during that fight. So I am confused because there were so many players on Garda that couldn't fight because of the damage they dealt. So if they tracked damage a little bit better, I feel like they would have been fine. But now they're in a position where they're on last and things have gone south. But they have been building the sentry gun. It's up on the left-hand side. They have a sniper also on the left-hand side. This is how you want to set up if you want to get that early 4/, kill a soldier trying to come through that doorway. So it's the setup that you want to see. And also they are trying to build the Super as fast as they can here. They've got Playgray who's building with the sword. So let's see if they can get an Uber in time. But it is going to take some time to get there as the Uber comes through.
Yeah, they're gonna have to kite this as well as they possibly can. The Sentry just get taken down, but they finally frag onto Bud. Unfortunately, they have to also worry about the point. There's an objective in this game, and there was a lot of cap time put onto it by Menix there. They just barely managed to get him off that point in time. Find a couple other kills to clean up as well with Shappy going down. So they have held on to this point for now. Unfortunately, it does not... at least I don't think it is physically possible to cap 4 points in 30 seconds. So
yeah,
we're probably going to a golden cap here, unless somehow Wheelchair decide to just all leave the server right now and thus give a free cap to Garda. Because I doubt there's a world in which they lose this round now.
Or Garda have the best pub push of their lives. They're sending it. Bud screws up the skip bomb, but they are going to kill off Warped here right at the start. So that's a good start. But they're starting to move in. They're going to start trying to play this point. 10 seconds remaining. Uber is popped out. It's only going to last for the next 5 seconds. Bud's going in for another bomb. Slings some rockets away from the place.
There's no way, right? There's no way. There's no way.
They're trying to do it. They can't. In the end, it's going to a golden cap. It was so close, Tony.
I actually thought for a second that could have happened there. There was like a I don't know, like a 5% chance that there was a reality where Garda wins that push. I can't believe it. That's
was
crazy.
Yeah,
that was very close.
Oh jeez, what a game! Both teams are playing pretty well actually. There's only a couple of mistakes here and well. Yeah, between mid and second, there's a bit of feeding going on, but aside from that, it's pretty darn close.
I could not tell you who's taking this golden cap. It's very, very tough to call right now. Like, for the longest time, for like the first 20 minutes or so, Garda looked very dominant. But once Wheelchair found their way, once they found like a little bit of footing, they have been looking very solid as well now. And it is impossible for me to tell, like, okay, golden cap, it could boil down to the mid, but like, Wheelchair had a disastrous mid in this last round and they still managed to hold, right? So...
yeah. So
it's tough to say.
Out of the mid fights we had, Garda won 2 and Wheelchair they won 1. So in terms of mid fights that happened, Garda have had the upper hand, but I feel like the only mid that they ended up winning on the side of Wheelchair was the one where they went left side on the mid and they cleaned up the flank on the left-hand side because they were unsupported. If they reflect that mid, then they might have a chance of just taking it away and rolling it all the way to the end because they did so well on that mid. They did lose Lenny once again, but if Lenny commits aggressively with those heals and plays more of a I don't care if I die sort of playstyle, I feel like that they'll have a lot more success.
That's very fair. Yeah, that left side shutdown on their kitchen side actually went so well for them. I was shocked. how well that worked. So if they can replicate that again in this golden cap, then they have a decent chance of rolling that to last if Garda are not prepared for it. Unfortunately, Garda have been looking pretty on game so far as well. Unfortunately for Wheelchair, that is. So they are obviously going to try to have a word with that. They've been playing these passive mids extremely well. And if they are passive enough, it doesn't matter that much if Wheelchair are that aggressive on the left side, I think, because they can just bait them out again. They might lose a bit of positioning. They might have to give up mid, but they won't lose many players.
Indeed,
This is what I feel is going to happen. Even if they lose mid, they're not going to lose many players. So it's either Wheelchair catches them off guard completely, or they wipe. Those are the only two outcomes on this mid fight.
Nothing in between. That's all you get. But what I've got to say about Garda as well, this team, they are all incredibly strong in the DM department. They just every single one of their players is talented in terms of like just landing cool shots and good hits and stuff. Warped is just a very consistent player, and I think Playgray might be the best DM player on the server, but does not compare to like the outright raw DM of the entirety of Garda. You know what I mean? Like they're all just so good at murdering things. I'm unsure as to like their strategies or anything like that. They just seem to they do passive mids, but they could do really aggressive ones if they wanted. I do wonder if they're going to swap it up or if they're just going to sit with this passive playstyle they've been doing the entire time, because it has been working for them.
They've been keeping the ace up the sleeve.
Yeah.
We're going to see like an insanely aggressive mid, yeah. Saving that one for week 6 of the regular season.
Yeah, it's like when someone just whips out the submarine in an official and you're like, hang on, did we just get beaten by a submarine? Did that happen?
It happens.
Yeah, it does happen. We are going live though. Any predictions? How do you think this is going to go? I want to give it to Wheelchair personally.
It's so tough to say. Either way, we're going to a second map, and if they continue to beat us close, probably a third one as well. We'll have to see, I suppose. You did say Chappie is a bit weak on Snakewater, but he's been doing fine, so I don't know, man. It's gonna boil down to the mid. Depending on how Wheelchair does on this mid, depending on how well they play their sides here, how well they either wipe or don't, that's gonna decide the round, I think. So we'll see how well they try to accomplish that as they take it a bit slow. Obviously, this is just like a mirror of the last round. Warp is gonna be trying to prod a bit on the right side, but that's not gonna happen for him, so they're just gonna be taking this nice and slow. Ryan goes high for a bit. There come the soldiers out of Garda as well, but they find the first kill onto Shappy. Bud gets taken down as well, so this is what you like to see if you're rooting for Wheelchair here. Kills is in so deep though, and somehow gets the kill on Lenny. Lenny is surrounded by 3 players, and they cannot kill this one little scout. He's just a scoundrel back there. Unfortunately for Garda, it doesn't matter because Theos dies as well. Yeah.
I mean, there is no world in which you should let that happen for like to kill Lenny, right? There's no way that he should be able to get through that many players and kill off your medic. But he does it in the end. That's what I'm talking about. Garda, they're just like, they've got the DM. They can kill people through other people. It's insane. But they are starting to move into second on the side of Wheelchair. Bud's going to start trying to take position, but the rest of the team, they are not there. Theos still has heals on bats, which is incredibly far back here. Shappy's starting to walk forwards, and there's getting scouts in. And good spam has been dealt by the soldiers on Garda, so they're going to manage to push them all the way back. And now it's a mid into second hold. Now, Lenny has built himself a little bit of an advantage to play with as well, so we're going to see if they manage to notice this, but I very much doubt it.
I highly doubt they're going to be able to play off of it much either. As soon as Lenny slows down a little bit or Theos picks up the heals a little bit, it doesn't matter anymore, and I think they're just going to go off the classic, we're just going to send in soldier sacks until something sticks. We're going to play off the vibes alone and see how well that goes. And right now, well, the driver's seat again is once more occupied by Wheelchair, which I don't know if they're allowed to drive, actually, now that I think about it. I feel like that'd be kind of, I mean, it'd be kind of strange, I suppose, but they're going to try to send it in. They do lose Hex to a little bit of a sticky trap, and that's enough for them to decide to turn around and hold the S button. But there's a bit of a catch there by Bud and also Killsis, who are going to be able to get the force out on Lenny. That is pretty bad for them.
So they get the force, and they kill Zinsoldat, who only just loses beam there and gets a rocket straight to the forehead. So, very unfortunate for them, now that they're going to be down 2. Zinsoldat is going to catch towards one of them. They're going to be able to get buffed up. They are going to buff up these soldiers on the side of Wheelchair and start trying to get this mid-hold going. The goal here is get the force and try and leapfrog the mid, but Hexery has decided he has other plans and he wants to drop the medic. He is on something.
Oh, I mean, both of these scouts on Wheelchair are also really solid snipers. So Hex is by no means a slouch either, even if we've only seen Zinsoldat so far. If he can get a nice cheeky shot off on somebody here, that would really seal the deal for them and try to, well, allow them to turn it around once more. But they're gonna give up the mid for now, gonna take it slow, build their own Uber, try to see if they can hold second here, and they've already got a Bud in to deal with, so gotta take care of that guy real quick before finally trying to maybe be a bit more aggressive themselves once more.
Yeah, I'm unsure as to what that even was there. Bud just goes in completely solo, goes in for a sack before mid is even capped and just feeds. That's kind of how that looked. But Hexery rings out a headshot and kills Mankey. Hello. That is exactly what you need. Respawner coming out now as Bud catches that one. And he's going to be on the floor, so he's rolling out currently. But this is going to open up a lot of opportunities here. And we're heading into mid-fight number 2. Electric Boogaloo, but with Ubers.
Oh, that's gonna be a fun one. Plus, they're like kind of down a player each side in terms of DM, but you gotta be careful. You don't want to cross those sidelines for Hex. They're being so careful about that. On the side of Garda, they know that sniper is sitting in saw. They're trying to bomb him, but Bud just gets shut down immediately. They find Ryan on the other side who's trying to counter bomb, but he got so much deeper. You push those players back so much more, and it's so much point presence now for Wheelchair. Slightly better Uber out of Garda, but only ever so slightly. It's enough to push these Wheelchair players back once more, but they are also low on the side of Garda as well. They can't really commit to holding close for very long. At least they got to heal up at least a little bit. And that sniper is still around, and he gets a nice shot onto Mankey there. That's all it took.
Exactly
another one as well onto Shappy. All right.
He's landed some heads.
They gotta respect this Hex sniper, I'm telling you, man.
Yeah, he's making them fear for their lives at the moment. No one's really holding any of these angles. But this is going to open things up here. They're so scared of this sniper that they're all holding in very passive positions. Theos is currently behind the shack, which is not really where you want to hold because you can get juggled sort of all around the place if a soldier bombs into your head. But because they're playing with the sniper, they don't really want to sack soldiers here. They are going to opt to counter snipe here, and Mankey is on the sniper. Medics gets body shot, so he's dead, which is fantastic if you're the red team right now. They got a body shot on Hexery as well, and he goes up. And they lose it, so that... Oh,
that's extremely terrible. I was like, maybe there's a chance where they can like quickly send in a soldier now that Theos is going to be less protected, but it immediately turns around. Mankey's going to be sniping out a window now as well. Ryan, meanwhile, is going to shut down his buddy, and, well, there goes Warp just cleaning up that sniper kill. The Uber, in the meantime, has been exchanged on second, but it looks like it's going to be a bit better here for Wheelchair. And matter of fact, if Theos isn't careful, he might die here. Killsys is going to find his way out, though, surely. Never mind, he's dead.
Nope. He has been successfully warped. That's, yeah, he's dead now. Anyway, really terrible what happened there, but Class had some indecision there. He had a lot of Uber left and was staring at the red Uber when both Ubers were completely even. They should have known that both of those Ubers were even because they used at the same time. So he should have headed back into Saw where the players weren't Uber, tried to find what he could, but they didn't do any of that. Instead, they stood around on second, waited too long, and then fed.
Well, that's how it goes sometimes. Now we have Killsys on the sniper. Everybody gets to snipe today. Both teams are just ringing in through their snipers, seeing who wants to shoot heads the most. And Hex being a bit ambitious there with that window peek, but doesn't get doinked for it. So it's all good on his side. And it's going to be a bit of an Uber ad here for Lenny, who's going to be keen on taking his team in through Saw as well, seeing if they can finally get into the second, get a push going. But there's a bomb by Mankey, trying to make something happen. Doesn't really make anything happen, but at least there was an attempt. A for effort.
Oh no, not again. They're doing it again. They're heading in towards last. They do have a small loot grab, but it's only 10% left. They nearly find Theos. He goes down to like 2 HP in the shutter. Medics gets double piped by Playboy. What a machine. And they don't manage to get the second cap though. It's currently being blocked by 2 players. Ryan goes in. He manages to force those players back. They'll get the second cap through. Playboy's doing the best he can. Does tons of damage on last, but has not got the support here. And they're going to have to head back all the way into second. And Garda has their Uber walked. Gets absolutely crunched.
He took that rocket for Lenny there. That was a get down, Mr. President moment, because if Wart wasn't there, Lenny would have taken that one. Maybe surfed it away, but that could have been Lenny. That could have been a very different situation. Yeah, a bit ambitious. A bit ambitious on that push, innit? They were like a little bit too ambitious on it. They were like, oh yeah, we're gonna let these guys cap second, and yeah, they committed a bit too much too deep too soon. Maybe thought they had a bigger ad, and it backfired a lot on them. Now they're gonna find themselves on their own second. Still no Uber for Wheelchair either, and if Garda want to keep rolling forward, I feel like they're not opposed to that idea whatsoever.
Yeah.
They just want to keep the aggression going.
Yeah, here's the problem with Snakewater though. As soon as you take 1 point back, the enemy team's going to get Uber again. So now you're just facing down an even Uber situation. They have got good pressure though. Ryan does get killed off in lobby. Bug goes in, great arrow from Theos. You find that one where they lose both soldiers in the end. They trade it out for a scout and a soldier, which is pretty good, but no spam on these doorways now. So both teams are going to play nice and passive and just chill out. Apart from Shappy, he's on crack. He's just going to walk through doors.
That's what he does. That's just,
he does that, yeah.
Either way, we're resetting ourselves to mid once more, and I hate to say it, we're halfway through the golden cap timer. It's
oh lord.
Oh lord, it's one of those rounds, huh? What happens in Golden Cap if that time runs out? It is a golden mid.
It's
fight,
golden
right?
mid, yeah. Whoever wins the mid after that is the one that gets it. Golden mid's notoriously difficult. Can go on for years.
I can't blame them. Both of these teams are very evenly matched right now, and only, well, technically both, but only one of them can make it to Prem so far tonight. Oh, that's gonna be a nasty one for Wiltshire here. That's certainly gonna put them on the back foot for a while, even if they find a couple of frags to clean up with it. That is a full Uber lost for, well, no real value, because it's not like you're gonna be able to push off of it whatsoever. There's no pressure whatsoever on Theos as well. He's so far back. There's absolutely nothing that's gonna happen here.
That was an excellent play. What happened was that Mankey went in for the bomb. He bombed in from source, so everyone was staring at him. And then the scout of class just runs in through lower. No one's looking at him because they're all looking at the soldier, and just lands 2 nice clean shots onto Lenny, getting the force. So that's a really, really nice set play that they pull out there, and there's really no counterplay that they can do. They go for bomb to Theos, only 1 rocket gets landed, so he's going to be fine, and they're going to cap on second. They have 25% Uber left to go until Lenny gets his Uber. This is what I was talking about before, Sony, and they're headed in.
They're just trying to do the thing that Wiltshire are doing all the time, but this time they're actually playing the point. They are doing it right. They are going aggressively, but they're playing the point, which Wiltshire were never doing, and that's going to win them the golden cap just that easy. The Sentry wasn't even covering it either. They basically caught Wiltshire with their pants down here.
Yeah, fantastic.
They did the thing that Wiltshire were always trying to do, but they actually pulled it off.
Yeah, it's incredible. Very well played there, Garda, at the end. I mean, when you push into last, you've got to be really, really quick. You've got to get your players buffed up, and you've got to get moving, because those Snakewater points, they do take a while to take, so they do manage to get it through in the end with a 20% Uber advantage push into last, and they just they COD zombies it onto the point, and they manage to get it in the end, so well done to Garda taking away Snakewater. That's exactly what you want. If you're them, you're going to be feeling good heading into the next map here. Wheelchair are now in recovery mode to see if they can get process back off them. Now, I am unsure as to how this is going to go, because there is mixed results from both teams on this front.
I mean, you were saying Shappy was supposed to be weak on Snakewater. I want to look at the logs real quick, just to see if I can corroborate that with, like, evidence and numbers and facts and logic and all that stuff.
Yeah, so the very first game, I've got the log. There you go. There it is.
Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Low damage all around. There was 132 DPM on one of the players.
You're not gonna call him out?
No.
No,
that's me.
As long as it's not on stream, I suppose we don't have to. Oh well, too bad.
He
it
did
is on stream
off class for 10 minutes, so I mean, there's not. What can you do?
That's unfortunate, but it is on stream now. It's actually combined logs. Look at that.
Oh, combined logs,
got
fantastic.
The technology. We got the technology.
We're living in the future.
Indeed. Well. I mean, it paints a bit of a picture how even this match was, huh?
Like, it really, really does. I mean, the damage is in the favor of Wheelchair, but the kills are literally, there's 1 in it.
Ubers are equal. Okay, Lenny dropped 1, sure, but like even if you look at every player matchup, like I'm trying to look at player matchups as best as I can, they're also like pretty evenly matched in terms of just stats, like in terms of raw stats right now, right? There's not like a standout where like one demo diffed the other one or something like that.
Yeah.
Bud died a lot, but he was also making a lot of space with those deaths. So
that dude was the feed machine. He was dying off cooldown. Like I said, he bombed into second while the mid cap was still going through because he wanted to sack early. Now that is too early, okay? You want to get your team in. You want to pressure all the doors. You want to do this, do that, create some space, get that sack off. But nope, he just solo bombs in, does the pencil thing that he does, and bibbidi bobbidi boo, he's dead 27 times in a row.
Unfortunate for him, I suppose.
Yeah, very unfortunate.
Shambolic logs, but hey, that doesn't really paint the picture of how much impact he actually had on the game and how much space he made with that. So
yeah, the one player I do feel really bad for in this game though was Lenny. He got killed through his team several times. He was in the right position. He was in the correct place. They just didn't manage to clear up class. He just was he ended up getting 22 kills on the map, which tells you everything you need to know.
I mean, both scouts on guard are doing pretty well, actually. I mean, actually, like, all scouts on the server are doing decent, but
yeah, it's insult that especially. That man is an absolute machine. Holy god!
That's those sniper plays.
Top fragger for Snakewater was insult that. So Yep. If we're gonna put it down to scouts, it's even kills on the scouts. There's 44 kills on both teams on the scouts. They got the
That's
same number
half.
of kills.
Yeah, that is actually funny, but it's also half of the kills that the team did in total. So
Yeah. On
That's
two of
quite
the
something.
players. Yep, on both teams. So usually when we talk about it, process ends up coming down to scout diff, right? That's
Yeah.
usually how we see it. So, I mean, Xin Soldat and Hexery versus Medics in Class, I would put Xin Soldat at the top of that list. Then Class and Medics, and then Hexery. I'm not calling that Hexery because they're still a very excellent player, but that's how I would rank it. So even, again, I can't
know.
call it, man. I don't know what to... I don't know. I just don't know.
Like, we can't call it off the scouts exclusively. So at that point, okay, what's the next most impactful thing? I guess it's gonna be the soldiers.
The Solly's doing the bomberinos.
Yeah.
Now, Bud had some unsuccessful bombs. Yeah.
He also had plenty of successful ones, though.
Plenty of successful ones, being maybe one or two.
That's plenty for him.
Yeah, that's enough. That'll do. But I don't know. But what we can ask is we can ask chat as to who they think is going to win. Let's have a look at some of the predictions.
It
They all
seems very
think the Garda
one-sided.
Panteri is going to win.
It's very one-sided right now.
Considering how last
Nobody.
map went, ladies and gentlemen, I'm very surprised that you've opted for this very one-sided approach. I want to see some love for Wheelchair, at least in these bets.
Nah, I don't think they want to. I think they're committed to Garda. They're believing in the idea of momentum. AKA Garda just won the map, even if it was as close as you can get it almost. But now they're gonna have momentum. They're gonna feel motivated. They're gonna be playing a different map, maybe one that suits them better. Who knows, right? These teams are all, the cores are stuck together, but they're all kind of shuffled together a little bit, right? They got a couple of new players. They've only been scrimming for a couple of weeks, maybe. So it's gonna be hard to tell which maps they're gonna be the best on. Either way, they're just raring to go straight away. So let's see if that momentum strategy actually comes into play here for Garda. Or if Wheelchair are going to find their way back into this, take us to a third map after the fact and, you know, not have to go for relegation and trying to get their last little prem spot here. As the mid has unfolded on our first little process mid here, and Playground immediately gets doinked, so I think this is a open and shut case for Wheelchair immediately, as they just have to try and salvage whatever they can. Ryan tries to go in for a little bit of bomb, so it doesn't work, but neither find anything of value whatsoever. A bit of damage on Theos is the best they can do. Garda wins the mid, and they're already on second as well, pressuring back these Wheelchair players who are rolling themselves into last as fast as they can.
Yeah, that went from a, hey guys, can we salvage this? And they should have said no and just held second. But instead they decided to try and feed two soldiers for the medic, and now they're on last. Which is exactly the sort of like snowball effect you'd get from trying to salvage mids. But they are getting players into last already. Mankey has gone in, he's fed his life away, but I mean, it was a good attempt. They tried to get in there, but eventually kills off the sentry gun, and they're just going to start rebuilding it immediately. They probably won't counter sack here because they're trying to just use the time to build the sentry gun instead. So they're going to get that gun on the point, start leveling it up, and do a passive ult.
As you do, they also have the Xin Soldat sniper once more. It's what he loves to do. That's kind of his thing right now, I suppose. And he's going to see if he can get himself a cheeky little angle. Obviously, they're aware of that. On the other side of Garda, they have a Mankey trying to counter-snipe a little bit as well. And, well, it's going to boil down to perhaps the sniper duel. Perhaps we can get a cheeky little angle. Ryan is going to be the first to fall to a headshot here, with Mankey just rolling that one off and opening up some space in lobby, perhaps, for his team, as Medics is just going to, well, you know, hold that by himself for a while. Finally, a bit of spam by Warp is going to at least, you know, hold him back for a while. But they've given themselves a lot of space here with that alone, and more importantly, a lot of angles from Mankey.
Indeed, and Bud the Soldier is going to start picking through 5. He wants to get that little spam angle where you stand on the window ledge and you just shoot some rockets down at the sentry gun, but Xin Soldat is going to need a rebuff. He's going to get healed up by Lenny and try again from a different angle and see what you can do here, but just peeking around. Bud has found his angle, trying to spam onto the gun that isn't there, and Ryan's going to go for a bomb and manage to pick him up on 5. So it's going to open up some opportunities now if they want to go for a counter sack into second, but I don't think that is going to be the case. Looks like they're just going to try and get Xin Soldat and some angles through 1.
Fair enough. I mean, they don't have any soldiers on the side right now of Garda, so getting through doors might be a tad easier. If you can just go wherever Shappy isn't, I suppose you'd have an opportunity for it, but they're not gonna risk it. They're not gonna risk it out of the side of Wheelchair either. They are willing to wait for Garda to make a mistake and then try to capitalize off of that instead of maybe making the play happen themselves, especially because they know Mankey is a capable sniper, and he will punish you if you take him too lightly. Zinzaldot gets the first little shot off on him, doesn't go get the kill though, and the follow-up isn't quite there either, unfortunately. Not going to be getting the kill. Medix is going to rush him down, actually, with Shappy together. They're going to take down that sniper threat 4. Wheelchair here now, no sniper on their side. They're going to have a lot more space to work with, and they're going to have to try and move themselves into here, and they're just kind of feeding into a sentry. Why are they feeding into the sentry again?
They tried to get a wide angle for the sniper, but Playgray cut his head off with the sword.
Ah, well, yeah, that's a problem.
Yeah. I mean, out of all the ways he could have killed him, he pipes him and kills him with the sword. That is... God, I love this man. Anyway, they're gonna have a 40 Brad to play with here. Let's see what they're kind of practicing here. Like, please tell me they're not gonna hold last. We're not on Snakewater, guys. Please, we're on process. Can you push?
No, okay. They're going slowly but surely.
They're doing it.
They're fine. They figured it out. They found the way. Now they're gonna have to just try and get in here without like losing their Uber or forcing or something like that. Unfortunately, that might just have to happen. Yeah, Lenny's gonna have to force him with butt, pressuring him down, and obviously nothing to follow up on whatsoever. Ryan goes down as well, trying to follow up, and there's a back cap attempt. Kills us in Mankey, and they didn't lock down all the doors, so they gotta lose to the diaper cap. I cannot believe it.
Oh, okay. Maybe they should have held last after all. Maybe that would have been better. But yeah, they flooded loads of players into the lobby, and they just they got the force on second. There wasn't enough players coming through onto second to support the rest of the Uber that happened as well. So just a bit of a disaster coming out from Wheelchair there. And now we're heading into another mid-fight. Sad times.
Sad times for Wheelchair, but surely this one's gonna go better. Plague won't get doinked immediately as he tries to walk to the pack. Matter of fact, he probably could have done it this time, but he's traumatized. He doesn't want to be anywhere near that med pack for now. As the mid finally goes underway, Hex is gonna be the first to fall. There goes into that as well. No scouts and no Lenny and no play crave for Wheelchair. There goes Warp as well. It's only Ryan left, and he gets shut down before he can even open that door. So yeah, that's another decisive mid win for Garda. I feel like I'm starting to believe that chat's belief in Garda was not misplaced.
Maybe, yeah, maybe that was the way to go. Garda, they appear to be so much stronger. These mid-fights are more in their wheelhouse. They hate this passive stuff, apparently. That passive stuff, Pepe's fit, no one likes it. But stick them on process, just high bomb in, commit your entire team in, and bang, they're just getting these rounds on the board. So, very, very nice stuff from Garda. They're actually going to get second, and they're going to get their heals there as well. Both teams, they're back in the same situation they were in before, and I bet Lenny loves living inside of Dispenser.
It's all he's been doing this match so far.
Unfortunately.
He doesn't really have much of a choice beyond that, but at least Ubers are equal, you know? At least they're kind of equal right now, so they're going to be able to maybe slow Garda down a little bit to their pace if they can manage to release out of Wheelchair. Obviously, they're kind of just getting tossed around like a wet towel right now. They're really struggling to find any stable footing on process right now. They're gonna have Hex sniping once more. Bud is gonna get taken down as he does. Warp is gonna try to go for a bit of a counter sec, but he just barely lives his exchange that he had. And Shappy gets taken down as well, actually. Ryan just gets some nice spam there to take him down. Hex is gonna have a nice angle now to perhaps maybe make something happen. With 2 frags, surely you'd think that Wheelchair would be a little bit more aggressive here, but I suppose they are still traumatized by that back cap as well. So they're taking it slow and steady, seeing if they can find their way into the second point. Spam somebody down, but now the respawn is there. They have to give it up, and well, not before taking down Bud once more. Just a nice little shot by Hex to do that.
Beautiful, beautiful stuff. They're going to try and open up one as well. Hex is going to start peeking that angle, seeing what he can do here. Pings off a shot, doesn't quite find anything there, and going to start going towards rollout. So he's not going to find too much here, but you know what I'm enjoying? Zinsoldat is doing his classic French TF2 player cosplay right now. Have you seen these cosmetics? They're fantastic.
I thought you were just gonna say that because of the hat, but like I'm starting to see why you're saying that because of the rest of the set as well. That's an incredible combination. Either way, while we're like so busy looking at that, somehow like half of Garda has died, and Wheelchair are pushing out into second. Crucially, Theos is still alive, and he's probably gonna have to Uber onto Bud here as the counter Uber comes out of Lenny as well, so it's going to be a tad bit better for Wheelchair, but they do have to flash a bit, so it's not going to amount to all that much. At the very least, it amounts to a lot of ground, and they will be able to take second off the back of it, but basically be immediately locked into a second to mid stalemate instead. That's the best you can do, I suppose. Gotta work with what you got.
I mean, best of a bad situation, to be honest. Plague goes down to 4 HP, Wolf goes in for a bomb, gets levitated in the air, goes down. I'm not sure what's going on, Bud dies in the choke as well. And there just appears to be some Giga Feed. Hexery also dies here, so now it's absolutely terrible. Shappy's going in for a bomb, question marks everywhere. And now Theos is running in, he eats a ton of sticky damage. If there was a soldier in play, he would die, but there isn't, so he's going to be walking out free. And they retake second. Unsure what just happened, Cerny. Some people failed.
Yeah, I don't, like, I mean, Hex was kind of screwed on the flank. He was probably not expecting to not only lose his soldier who's trying to go for a bomb, but then also have 3 players pushing in IT. That's kind of just bad luck. And, well, Garda made the most of it. Again, Superior DM coming in the clutch here. Mankey trying to go for a bit of a cheeky sack play. Won't quite get what he wants with it, unfortunately. And once more, we're finding ourselves on the last point of Wheelchair. A very familiar situation. We've seen it for the past 9 minutes, basically.
And from the last map. Welcome, Raiders from Team Fortress TV, number 1. If you're just joining us, previously we had a golden cap on Snakewater in a 1-1 game, and that golden cap went pretty much down to the wire. Last, like, 1 minute left on the map before they were going to go to a golden mid, and now Ron's process is currently 1-0, and it's still relatively even in terms of things, apart from the fact that Garda have had a bit of an upper hand in this match. So far, winning both mid fights and just pinning Wheelchair to their last. Very unfortunate times, but Lenny's still living inside his dispenser. He's living his best life.
I'm starting to realize that maybe there's a pattern to how Wheelchair play here. Maybe they take like 20 minutes to warm up on a map. Maybe that's just how they play, you know? They're getting dominated right now, tossed around, but as soon as they find a little mistake, like Garda did right here, you know, just feeding 3 players, trying to get something done, Warp picking up a nice little 2k with 1 rocket is always nice, and there you go, they managed to find themselves back out onto second. Is it going to be enough to keep going forward? Well, no, because there's a full Uber on the side of Theos, and if they're not fast with this cap, there's actually going to be forward spawns as well, which they just barely declined. Okay, fair enough, they managed to get that through. But still, they're gonna have a tough time just getting into this mid for free. They're gonna have to fight for it. They're gonna have to make something happen. Ryan's gonna jump in, get it. Theos gets a nice little force out of him as well. Beautifully done. Now just keep Lenny safe, and honestly, nobody's even chasing it out of the side of Garda. They realize the predicament they're in.
Yeah, really nice skip jump there. Ryan just managing to get the angle through on the IT, gets directly onto Theos' face, gets that force off. Beautiful stuff. It's a really hard situation to be in there because they so wanted to go on the side of Wheelchair. They just wanted to go because they got the pushback on the spawners there, but they would have had to probably trade off the Ubers in the choke, which wouldn't have been ideal. So they kind of like half push in, and Ryan just uses that as an opportunity to sack. So beautiful stuff. They have this massive Uber advantage to play with here, so they're going to start entering through the choke. Warp's going to be bombing in here, there, and everywhere, and just taking the space. The flank has done their classic Garda Panteri thing though, and have decided that they're just going to flood the flank to see what they can do. And Class has managed to split his way in behind, taking a wonderful Warp. They're adding process second, and now they're having to send players back, as Theos is now going to have his Uber. 2 players down, and Class is stuck behind.
This Mankey kills his flank is unbelievable. this is insane stuff I'm seeing on them. Every little push, they just manage to slip in, catch off the one unfortunate scout that happens to be meeting them, and just utterly dominate that flank fight every single time. Kills us being behind for so long as well, buying so much time for his team to get that Uber back, and it's like nothing happened, right? The midpoint has traded teams, but we're still in a similar situation, and Zinsoldat just walks into a sticky trap and dies. So that's gonna be a big no-no for Wheelchair here.
Some more slowdowns. Basically, everything that happens, they're not giving it away for free. Shappy and Playground have been setting up sneaky traps absolutely everywhere, just picking up players here and there, just making sure they're going to slow them down. One pick means their whole difference in terms of how they're going to make these pushes happen. So, yeah, now both teams are playing nice and passive, and we're going to see what Red Team have sort of talked up, what map talk has occurred, and what set play is going to happen for this sack. And it's probably going to be that let's do a soldier distract, which is what Warps is going to go do, and then Ryan's going to do the skip jump through choke. So let's see what happens here. Warps is wandering in. He does the bomb into IT and screws it up massively, and they do nothing. Okay.
I didn't want to say it, but I'm pretty sure this is the first time this entire map that Wheelchair are like in possession of mid, trying to push second. I
You might be right,
haven't
yeah.
really been keeping close track of it, but it certainly feels like this is the first time they've done that. Either way, it doesn't even go that down south for them because Bud goes for the counter stack, doesn't accomplish anything either. Now you've got Ryan in behind on last, fighting Killsis, who's probably gonna beat him, to be honest, because of just the sheer health difference here. But either way, he's pulled a player back, and the Uber has been forced out of Theos in the meantime. So it's actually going quite well for Wheelchair, all things considered. They're trying to make something happen here. They managed to make something happen. Now they just gotta wait for the two players and then try to get back into second, as they have to also hold off these very aggressive and very angry Garda players who
Just
want a
give it up.
refund on their Uber.
Just leave, boys. It's gonna go badly if you stay. Anyway, they're gonna just sort of stay. Now they're gonna take Super. They baited them off the point. Shappy's gonna get caught here. It looks like, and Playground does go low, but he manages to catch a bit of Uber, but they managed to kill off two key players in Theos and Shappy. So this Uber has gone excellently for them. Very, very, very well played from the side of Wheelchair there to get that to work.
It worked beautifully. All right, their play worked out. Just enough aggression to bait these players to keep being aggressive on Garda, and then go for the counter aggression, wipe out the most important core of the team there, arguably. So now they have to take it into loss. They have a decent ad, like, 40, 30% to work with here. So by the time this actually gets ready, if they are fast enough, they could make something happen. Unfortunately, Garda are going to be setting up for last hold as well. They got the heavy up on the high ground. Menix is going to shut down pretty much anything that wants to enter the air in that half of the last point.
They're doing a one.
Oh, they're gonna go through there. All right, they're trying to meet the team closer. They do use the Uber as well. Theos is only at 70%, so he's gonna be nowhere near. And if he dies here, it is very bad for Garda. And he is finding himself in a very big predicament as well, as he gets taken down, trying to sneak and weasel his way out. And they're finding frags. Slowly but surely, Shappy, Killsis, and Menix left, but no heals for any of them. So as long as they play the heals right here, out of the side of Wheelchair, this should be a done deal. Menix is putting down a lot of damage, but he can't hold the point by himself when he's so far away from it. And there you go, they make it even.
That was textbook right there, that push. But I love the just corralling Theos into a corner, and Playground makes the rip his legs off call, and they just send everyone for Theos before he gets the Uber, which is exactly what you got to do. They kill him off, and they manage to just slowly play it down, whittle down the blue team, and then they just take the round. So very, very nice stuff.
Now, to see if they can have a good mid for once out of side of Wheelchair. They're certainly doing better. This time Shappy locked down quite aggressively early on, not getting any ground whatsoever. Not quite managing to clean up the kill, but Ryan's going to try to do that now. Maybe go for Theos instead with Warp. They find Menix, they find Shappy, they find Mackie, they find Theos. There you go. They're finding all the frags, only losing Playground on their side. They got to deal with Bud and Killsis here, which is quite the nasty combo, but they do find the scout, and Bud is 1v1ing X and almost pickaxed him. That would have been embarrassing. Yeah, that would have been embarrassing to die to, I feel.
There's nothing more terrifying than a soldier whipping out the escape plan and just running at you rather than running away. It can be a little bit scary sometimes, but they end up taking the mid-fight, which is very good. The key element of that left side mid-fight that they do, good damage to Shappy, you force him away nice and early, you regroup with the rest of the team and get healed, and they get Lenny across the left-hand side. If you don't get Lenny across the left-hand side, you get mauled, and then you just lose the mid-fight. But they get him across nice and safe, and now they're pushing into last with a full Uber advantage here. So we're going to see what they're going to do. Engineer's already up, and the Uber comes out.
Now they gotta have to make it work. They gotta have to make this Uber work quite hard, actually. They do find a sentry decently fast. They find putting some cap time down as well, but there are still stickies on the point, so those are not gonna be cleared anytime soon. And they're slowly bleeding their players. The scouts are down. There goes Warped as well as he gets floated around, but Ryan, miraculously, just from above, drops down to Theos and kills him. So, they've salvaged it somehow. Despite losing their entire team, basically, Playground having to escort out Lenny somehow, and it's by no means a done deal. Lenny has to live here somehow, and he just about does. But still, you know, they managed to salvage it, and they've bought themselves another attempt at getting into that last once more. They're gonna have a massive Uber ad. There's not gonna be much second holding, at least for a while. Unfortunately, they took a bit too long to get aggressive out of the side of Wheelchair, so they're gonna have to get to through second as well, but still.
Yeah, beautiful, beautiful stuff. That Ryan manages to find that medic in the end. So Theos is going to be punching his keyboard or something, I don't know. But big old Uber advantage here. They're going to buff up these players and then start moving back. They're going to start building on rollout here. Now, it's going to be down to how quickly they manage to take this, whether they can turn this into a last or not. And they are starting to... Oh, they use out and Playground into bats, and he's died immediately. But they're going to trade Shappy as well, so they lose two here. Shappy and Bud are both going to go down. They're going to start capping up this point. Theos is only at 65%, so they can start pressuring last if they wish.
Getting Shappy there is a big deal. Having that demo not be there for your last hold is very, very tough to hold with, but gonna be tough to say if they're actually gonna be able to get that push going, though. They got so much cap time. They're putting these players into the spawn, seeing if they can make something happen, but they just don't find that crucial frag onto Theos or get that force that they so desperately desired, and no amount of extra feeding can make that happen either. So while it was close, it wasn't quite there.
Not quite in the end, but now we've got the red team. They're going to be in choke here, seeing what they can do. They don't quite have move yet, and Hexer is up on the sniper, going to be peeking the angles. Theos can get domed here. He gets body shot. Shappy goes way too aggressive and goes down here, so body shot rings out. Theos gets caught with a rocket somehow. I have no idea how that rocket hit him, Cerny.
It was like a spam while Ryan was bombing, basically. He just shot a random rocket in that direction. Somehow, miraculously, the splash is enough to kill Theos, and there you go.
Ground.
Yeah,
I'm baffled.
That's how splash works, baby, and that's gonna be good enough for them to roll it into a win. There you go.
2-1 is the scoreline, Cerny, and it looks like Wheelchair have caught their breath of wind. I don't know what happened there, but they're starting to really roll it and get some skip in their step. They're doing real good now, and see what they can do on the stage of the fight.
I'm telling you, they're like a warm-up team. They need a bit of run-up, they need a bit of time to get going, but once they get going, they're a menace. They're something to deal with. Playgray looking to diff Chappie here on the rollout, doesn't quite do it, but on the it doesn't matter because Ryan is going to trade him out instead, and this mid is underway immediately. Aggressive out of both teams. Slightly better positions here for Garda, though, at the end of the day. Even without their demo denying high ground, they're just going to be able to take it regardless, and now they're going to have to rotate around the side of Wheelchair, which is both dangerous and also a great idea because they're keeping themselves alive somehow. They find Bud, who's trying to flank him. Shappy's finally making his way back as well, but he's going to be out of it for a while still, and it's still going either way. It's a messy mid-fight. We're going to be into an encore here as they find their way back. Theos gets taken down, but Lenny is in no great position either. It's Gilsis and Menix, the two scouts trying to tear it up here for Garda. They actually managed to do it unless Hex whips out a miracle right now. I doubt that's going to happen, though.
I can't, dude. I can't. It wasn't caught on the stream, but I hope that someone rewatches this STV and records that. But Ryan absolutely screws up the fast rollout, goes way too high coming out of the choke, and just sinks onto Theos' skull. It was just hilarious. I don't understand. But somehow by messing up the fast rollout, he makes it work. But now they're going to be heading into second. It is an even Uber, sort of even Uber situation. Whoops going to go in and feed. They have managed to find two more players. Good roll. Oh my god, Mankey! Nice error from Lenny to save his life as well. Holy god.
Playgray is getting a lot of backshots right now. Evidently, he's being everybody's target. This man was supposed to die, and he's not dying. And now here we are, and well, Wheelchair trying to find their way back into mid. Unfortunately, they've realized, wait a minute, we're gonna get bombed the hell out of us, and they're just gonna have to back out to second once more. Try to equalize this, but at the very least they hung on quite well. With equal Ubers as well now. Well, they're very aggressive out of guard. They're actually gonna flank around, see if they can catch out Playgray, and they do with the Uber. Theos is gonna have to have popped early here though, so Lenny is gonna maybe have a bit of a better Uber if he doesn't flash as much. It's actually just gonna be equally faded now on the post Uber though. The positions are so much better for Wheelchair, and they wipe the rest of Garda off the face of the map.
Fantastic analysis stuff. A really, really good salvage there. And then a really nice bunker as well coming out from the side of Wheelchair. They just all stand on the same place. They all regroup nicely and just clean them up one by one. They call the focuses and all that stuff, so very, very nice. And Zinsoldat is just holding his goddamn ground. That man is an absolute machine. He will not let anyone get near Lenny at this point in the game. And they're going to start moving on to second. Shappy has set up a little bit of defense here. Whoop just get body shot. Bud's going for a bomb. Whoop jumps over the rocket as it flies towards him. Very, very nice stuff coming in from him, but they're going to start taking on to second here. Massive Uber as well, and they've managed to get him nice and clean.
The control point is being
Yep, that's all it takes. Now, you're in a prime position to take center last as well. They're already up around, and there's only 8.5 minutes left, which is not a lot of time. So if they get up another one, they actually have Garda by the balls, I feel. So
yeah,
there's a good chance that they could take the map off the back of it. A bit of captain coming out, no stickies for the time being as well. Only a very little point pressure actually out of Garda at all. They're just all locked and spawned. They can't even get to the point if they wanted to. And there you go, 3-1 for Wheelchair with 8 minutes left on the clock. It's gonna be a tight game for Garda now.
Yeah, Warp's just noticed that instead of bombing the spawn door, everyone was in the same spawn door, so he just jumps to the point. His little jump and ends up on the point. So, very, very nice, and they get that last through, and play great. Oh my god, he's so fast through the choke. He's already playing on the left side of the mid already. Shappy's getting pressured as well. Bomb comes in, and pause.
Pause. Okay, fair enough. I feel like something disastrous must have happened. Either it's a player crashing, or there was like a disastrous round for either of these teams right now. So it's attack pause. I suppose either one is possible.
I think if Wheelchair lose this round that they don't pause. I think it's someone's disconnected.
Ah, Lenny timed out apparently, so there you go.
Oh, that could be bad.
Yeah, that is actually pretty bad, isn't it?
It's always terrible when your medic times out. And we're going to see if Garda have any amount of team spirit in them here, if they're going to provide an Uber to Lenny for this timeout, or however this goes down either way. But we'll see what happens here. The mid-fight's ensuing. Lenny has not managed to cross over to the left, and now he manages to just jump out the way, get all the way across the mid. So he's going to now be able to link up with the rest of his team and start pumping out those heals as fast as he can. But even players both sides, and we're just taking our time here. Both teams are just traded sides of the mid, and we're going to see what they can do. But Bud goes down here as Warp is coming back in from behind. He picks up Class as well. He's going to maybe find another one here. Warp is doing so much work on this mid fight, but now Theos and Shappy are going to be escaping. They left Menix to die on his own on the other side of mid, and Mankey is going to be in sort of the same position here. Lenny on the point, Mankey going in for the bomb.
No way, no way.
Okay. And he doesn't find it. Oh, the bomb!
Oh no!
Theos!
The ultimate disrespect. Well, at least I think he timed out while he was basically dead anyway, so it won't matter. But that is unbelievable. You cannot tell me that happened. I mean, Theos does get forced on the other side here. Somehow, Zinseldab managed to sneak in. And, well, Ryan was there, I guess, to back him up as well. But, man, what the hell was that? Yeah, you can't let Mankey get away with that and then have, like, line him up perfectly to get Theos that kill. I guess Hex is gonna have a word with it. He's still on second for some reason. He's just being a bit of a rat right now. Bit of a scoundrel behind on enemy lines.
Looks like we found where Lenny timed out just now on second. Not the best place to be in terms of timing out, because now they're going to have to give up second entirely as Bud jumps forward. No heals available. They are disrespecting massively, to be fair. They should not be really doing that in a very sportsmanship-like manner. Very disgusting.
Well,
Spit.
They want everything they can. They know they're down 2 rounds. They got 6 minutes to convert them. That's tight timing, man. You got a tight schedule here. You got to keep it going if you want to take this in 2 maps. Otherwise, you're gonna go to a third one to have to fight for your Premiership spot, right? They want to make this a done deal as quickly as they can. So, well, they're gonna go send that Uber into last, see how well it goes for them. They haven't really found much with it so far. They kind of chose the wrong side. Everybody on Wheelchair was just on the other side. They didn't even get the sentry. So while there's not going to be a fight on this last point, it is certainly much better position for Wheelchair, especially considering that Lenny's going to get his Uber as well anytime soon. Ideally, you wouldn't even want to use it, but worst case, they're going to be able to get rid of all these Garda players. And that being said, there's so much cap time. Why do they ignore the points?
Oh my god, I can't. They were dead on the point as well, so they only just got it. There was so much initial cap time that came down that they managed to just slip it through in the end. They timed it perfectly with the soldier bombs coming across as well, so nice stuff coming out from Garda Panteri. A little bit unsportsmanship-like to take second off them in the way that they did, but you know what? Moving on, another mid-fight.
Yeah, they want this. Garda want this in regulation time. They do not want to have to go to a third map. They want to get this over with as quickly as they can. Shappy's going to be the first to go down here for a nice one by Ryan. Warp, this is going to end himself, unfortunately. But at the very least, he tried to do something. Unfortunately, it didn't keep Lenny alive, which is a crucial pick here for Garda to get, because even if it's a better mid-fight so far for Wheelchair, they're not going to be able to hang on to that advantage for very long as the heals come through from Theos. And, well, as if Theos can stay alive, that's certainly going to be a big add as well. He's doing his best right now. Ryan gets taken care of. There goes Bud on the other side, just buying a bit of space, but it's good enough to get the first cap for Wheelchair, but they immediately have to leave.
Yeah, very nice from Wheelchair. They're getting that cap is actually quite a lot for them, because all of those players that died very early in the mid-fight all got those forward spawners, and now this is going to get them a good setup on second. If they didn't get those forward spawners, then they don't all get crit hills on second, and they're in a really bad pause. But Warp's going in for a very, very early bomb. It's going to feed, but manages to pick up Class in return, so that should slow them down a little bit here. Back spawners now all rolling out, so Bud and Mankey going to be moving into second, so they're going to be starting to take that space. Hexery is currently building that sentry gun, and the Uber charge is ready to go in lobby. They just did a scout in the demo, and they're heading in.
Yep, they're going to try to make this equal. They're going for the 3-3 here immediately as fast as they can. They've got 2 quick rounds on their backs right now, and they are looking to complete those. There's the counter Uber out of Lenny. He is going to pop it off. They're finally going to play the points a little bit. They've realized the error of their ways on the side of Wheelchair. They know that there's an objective that they have to actually protect here, and they're doing a decent job at it. Unfortunately, they didn't do a decent job at killing the aggression out of Garda. It's only Ryan left trying to keep his medic alive. You're trying to keep the point alive, and for the time being he does, but Medix is going to try to have a word with that, and unfortunately there's respawners, so he will not be able to round that out, and now Theos is perhaps in a dangerous situation. He does manage to beat up with his demo, and he's going to be able to get out of harm's way, but it was dangerous for a minute there.
A little scary for the side of Wheelchair. But let's see what they can do here. I mean, Lenny is already up to 70% Uber. It's relatively even Ubers. Half cap is going to start winding down. They've gotten the sentry gun on the pointers, so it's going to make it difficult for them to really do anything. And I'm liking this new sentry spot, by the way. It means you can't get spammed from 5, basically. But it can get spammed from 2, which is the downside, but 2 is easier to hold than 5 most of the time. But the overcharge coming out very early. Lenny does have his Uber as well, so they're just going to start flashing everyone. They want to save as many players as humanly possible on the red team. They don't want to drop anyone at all. Good damage onto Theos, and Theos doesn't manage to get through 2, and he dies. Medix gets picked up as well. Bud's going to go down outside of lobby. It's looking incredible if you're Wheelchair right now.
That's absolutely wonderful. And worst case is even if they don't push, they've bought themselves like at least another 60 seconds here. They've bought themselves another minute on the clock. It's only 2 minutes. Even if they don't win this round, as long as they hold it for long enough, they have won the map, and they go into the third one, which is going to be Gullywash. So at least for now, they're feeling a little bit less pressure on them once more. And if they can secure second here as well, buy themselves more time, maybe keep rolling forward as well, who knows? Who knows? It's going to be on Garda. It's going to be on Garda to try and somehow equalize this. Take a golden cap. Take it in the 2 maps that they so wanted to take this in, but maybe, just maybe, they're going to have to really whip out a miracle for that to actually happen.
Indeed. See what they can do here, but they are managing to get the supercharge here. They are going to have a 30% ad, but I don't feel like they're going to use it at all to get to mid. There's really like no point in trying to do that. You're just going to end up in a leapfrog situation. So I think Garda also know that they're not going to do this, so they're going to start playing the aggressive. It looks like they're going to be going for IT though. So Class is in lower IT. They're going to get Mankey in through top lobby to see what he can do here. He's having to take a really bad fight, and he has been forced back already.
Yeah, there was nothing to write home about that attempt. I'm actually surprised nobody died on the side of Garda, because that's a prime situation to put yourself into, die very easily, like Mankey's doing right now, and he finally gets cleaned up. It took a bit too long, but they did get there, and I don't know what Theos and Kilsis are doing, but I guess they're trying to go for the trade, which is ambitious. They're spreading the Uber flashes a bit thin, and I guess Chappie's got some cheeky sticky setup that nobody on Wheelchair spotted, but they're not going to cause any havoc either. And now with the post-Uber aggression, but trying to do his best to get onto medic, Lenny's just going to stay alive there. There goes Theos as well. Everybody on Garda has crumbled. This is it. It's GG's, and the second map is going to go the way of Wheelchair.
We're going to a map 3! Excellent. I'm excited about that. That makes me very happy.
You did say this would be the better match tonight, and you've been right on your prediction so far.
I did say this would be the teams to watch. This should have been on Team Fortress TV 1, but we stole it from us, Ernie. We stole it. And we got the better reduced to hashtag Chad Sanders.
Oh, you're really trying to get like all the brownie points you can, huh?
Yeah, I am indeed, yeah.
Incredible. Incredible stuff.
Yeah,
well,
incredible stuff.
No golden cap for once, at least that's something. They have some faith in us.
Oh, thank God, we're going to be able to go home on time. Incredible. Dum-Tum's going to let us out the studio, Cerny. Who knows? But excellent stuff. Very, very nice. I feel like Wheelchair, they got a good roll happening on process. I mean, that one round that they lost, I feel like it was very, very close. They only just lost it to get that 2-3 in place, but played very solidly towards the end, ending up with the 3-2. So very, very nice stuff. And but definitely showing here that Garda has that massive aggression potential. They were showing their aggressive mids on process, and they had a lot of success with them. So I think heading into Gullywash, where you can basically only play aggressive mids, playing passive mids on Gullywash is absolute poo. So it's gonna look pretty good if you're Garda.
Yeah, the interesting part here is how the stats are not as even this time around.
Oh,
We're looking at the logs. Garda are a lot more dominant, at least in terms of raw DM. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like it mattered.
Well, this is interesting because last map we had Wheelchair lose but have more damage. Hang on. What am I looking at here? The score's the wrong way around. They've got wheelchair written on the
Oh,
left
yeah, no, they
and Garda written on
Wait, they
the
are,
right.
yeah. What the heck?
What has happened here?
I was confused for a second. What the heck?
No,
Unbelievable.
looks like wheelchair did have more damage.
Yeah, no, wheelchair just kind of owned, huh? Okay, never mind.
Fantastic. Never mind. We're just yeah.
Yeah, no. Once they got in control of the map, they kind of just ruled with an iron fist, huh? That's what we're looking at here. Fair enough.
Yeah. I feel bad for Bud. He went 6-23 in that match.
Do you though? I feel like
No.
23 deaths is like his magic number. It's like his magic number.
If Bud's not getting over 20 deaths a game, then something's wrong.
Let him cook. It's all part of the plan.
Let him cook. I mean, big shouts to Brian as well. That man's playing out of his goddamn mind. He played so well in this map. He had a lot of really successful soldier bombs. But my man of the match for process, 100% certain, was Playgrade. That guy was insane. He was playing so on the ball the entire time. He sees a scout trying to slip behind. He puts 2 stickies in the doorway where that scout's trying to run, and that scout just runs in the other direction. And he does that decision making in 0.1 seconds. Absolute machine.
Also, gotta say, Menix kind of had a killer game, all things considered. Despite his team getting kind of tossed around a little bit towards the later half, he was apparently fragging and he was like doing damage. And he was making plays. He was a menace, evidently.
Yeah.
Like he didn't have anything flashy. That's probably why it didn't stand out to me as much. But apparently, at least like the numbers don't lie. My man was doing work. He was putting the team on his back ever so slightly.
He carried them. But what I got to say as well is that Lenny only had 4 deaths and Theos had 10, so it's a flip of what happened last game. Lenny had a lot more of a consistent game, and it did feel like he barely died. Like mid-fights, for example, he was just running all over the place, managing to slip here, there, and everywhere, getting in safe positions the whole time. So, and also really providing the heals to his team. Like in this game, Lenny got 1,255 healing a minute. That dude was pumping him out.
He was like doing a crazy job staying alive. I will concur that. That is very true. Also didn't drop this time. That was Theos's job.
Couldn't
All
be
right.
me.
Gullywash. How's that gonna go? How you feeling?
God. From Playgrade's last performance, we like to talk about how basically Gullywash do be insanely poggers for demo men. So Playgrade having a really good game last game is putting me in strong stead to say, hey, I would put my money on Wheelchair if it was me, but that would cast a curse the whole holy hell out of them, which is really not what I want to do. So what I'm going to put it down to, Cerny, is how much do you reckon the tiltometer is at for Shappy right now?
You see, I as far as I am aware, Garda traditionally can be a bit of an emotional team. You know, they've got some emotional characters on that team.
That is a very politician's way of saying it.
I like being diplomatic,
that, and I'm going to use that from now on.
I am being diplomatic. So, you know, I feel like if we're going to talk about tilt, they are probably overall a bit more susceptible to it. And especially after, you know, having a strong performance on the first map, rounding it out, albeit closely, and then having a strong first half of process as well, you're going to start to feel a bit fatigued, right? You're going to be like, oh, are we letting it slip away? Are they letting it slip away from their fingers, right? So, yeah, if there's going to be tilt involved, now's the time it would come into play. Absolutely. But at the same time, if they're a strong team, if they feel like they can you know, band together and get through it, they're going to come out stronger at the other end of it, and maybe they're going to come back whipping it like crazy, right? Maybe they're gonna be whipping out incredibly aggressive mids, even more aggressive than they've already been, and they're gonna take it away with just that alone. Because as we said, Gullywash, you kind of have to be aggressive, and Wheelchair, they've been very passive both maps so far, a lot of the time anyway.
Yeah. They do like to do a more passive. Well, I'm saying that. Wheelchair wanted to take the fight to them on Snakewater, but I feel like that's what they were practicing, and I think that Garda have maybe map talked Snakewater, and they've talked about what they want to do, and they've opted to go for this play passive play style where you sit your medic on bats and you just chill and you wait for them to come to you, and then you just kill them and then move forwards with the rest of your team, which is like fine. That's a fine strategy to do, but on process they wanted to do the polar opposite, which is like, you know, when you talk about playstyles and stuff, surely it's like the opposite sort of paradigm. So The difference being, right, is what I'm trying to say. On Gullywash, you cannot play passive. If you play passive on Gullywash, you get crushed because the team that eventually basically goes in first is the one that ends up winning the mid-fight. As long as they can get their whole team involved with that going first element, you know. So if you bomb your soldiers and the rest of your team are ready on Gullywash, it's over.
Yeah, that's a very fair way of looking at it. So if Wheelchair are able to, you know, have a decent Gullywash mid as well, then this could go either way, I feel. But even if they have the momentum now, even if they're going to be feeling the high of, you know, just winning a little bit more confidently than their performance was on Snakewater, if they struggle with the mids on this map, I think they're going to struggle with the entire map. I think that's what it's going to boil down to. Again, these teams are rather evenly matched, and just like with the last two maps, a lot of it is going to boil down to the mid fights.
Indeed,
I think a lot of who gets control of the map and gets to control the pace of the game and everything going forward is going to be down to who wins these first couple of mid fights. Doesn't even matter how those rounds go, it's who wins the mids on those first couple of ones, because then it establishes who's the dominant team here, and depending on that, who dominates the strategies on the mids as well. That being said, we are going live. It's the final map for this qualifier match. Whoever wins this goes directly to Prem. Whoever loses has to fight once more, I believe on Sunday, to get another shot at going to Prem. And it's gonna be either Wheelchair or Garda Panteri as they make their way to this first little mid fight. Headed off, and, well, so far we're talking about aggressive and passive. Warp is going to be the first to die here as he tries to walk up elbow, while the rest of Garda are rotating around, and after just that one frag alone, Wheelchair have decided, yeah, let's not bother anymore. We weren't in position anyway. Let's just give that up and take it back to second, try to hold that instead.
Yeah, they made a really quick decision there that they were, as soon as they lost one pretty early, the rest of the team weren't ready to sort of follow up, so they made a decision to just leave. But it looks like Garda Panteri, they want to keep this aggression going. They're going to roll through this check, but they're going to get flagrate. Holy god, that's the pick he definitely wants. Soldier in from behind, they get the force as well. Theos is not in a position to get forced whatsoever, but he pops up to save Shappy's life anyway. Class here is also going to need a bit of a flash. He gets that one. They cleaned up loads of players here. Ryan's going to be jumping all the way back. Lenny has indeed survived, but a medic is not going to be much versus the rest of the fragging classes. Ryan does win the 1v1. Playground catches his spawner, so they're going to try and defend this last, but Garda just barreling into last. Medic's in his face. There's nothing on the point to defend it. The capture time is coming down. Medic kills another player on the point. What? He's dancing on them. He's still alive. He's going to kill loads more here. Warp goes down. They kill off 2 and they get the round. Oh my god.
I am speechless. What the hell was that? Menix just kind of like decides to hold W and win the round. What the hell? Like, he was dancing on that point for like a solid 20 seconds without anybody being able to kill him. They were all looking around confused. Where is he? What's going on? I don't know where I am. What the hell is going on? And suddenly the rest of the team just comes in and Garda pick up a quick round. This is how Snake went. They pick up an extremely quick round, and now it's going to be down to Wheelchair to find their way back into it.
Yeah, here comes the Ryan bomb and the Warp bomb. They're going to be sending it into the they're just sending all the way across, and the rest of the team are ready for it, and now they just want this mid-fight. There's nothing else that Garda can do here. They need to run and get as many players out as they can. They
did grab a couple of nice frags as well. They find Playgray at the very least, so, you know, the momentum here for Wheelchair is going to be a bit stunted, and they're still going to try to re-aggress out of Garda as well. Chappy eats a lot of damage, Bud eats a lot of damage again. It's so easy to lock down this choke, but Warped only has so many rockets to shoot before he finally has to back out again. And, well, they kept the aggression high. They made sure that Wheelchair doesn't get too comfortable resting on their laurels on that mid. And now they're going to have to find their way back into this second fight. And unfortunately, Ryan is going to have to pay with his life in order to even accomplish anything here. As Mackie tries to get a little skip jump in, gets one rocket onto Lenny, but that's all she wrote.
Yeah, Ryan tried his best to get through Big Doll there, but ate a big sticky trap and ended up dying. Hexery is going to meet a sort of similar fate, but with pipes instead, so he's going to be dead. And they're trying to get players in behind, but Shappy is holding Big Doll quite strongly, and they've got the Soldier Scout combo choke with the heals, so it's a nice setup going on from Garda at the moment. As the game starts to slow down, we're going to see what they want to do here. And still opting for the same, and no off classes here, so we'll see what they want to do.
Yeah, though this is going to be quite an interesting one. Garda are in the driver's seat. They are up around, and as much as I know they're not gonna, they could very well slow the game down to their pace if they so desire. That being said, Ryan is going to try to set himself in for a little bit of a bomb here. Gets one little rocket onto the Oh my god! There is no way you hit those. That is incredible. I think it was a splash on the fence as well.
It was a splash on the fence, but it was close. It still got him.
Wow. Yeah, that's... Honestly, I can't blame Theos for dropping there. He was pretty confident that he was probably just going to get away from that, that there was no way Ryan was going to get anywhere close with a splash, but there you go. That's all it takes, and now Wheelchair are in a prime position to try and take this round off the back of that.
Yep, very, very nice stuff, and Lenny still has that full Uber. The bomb came into choke as well to try and force him off. He just held that Uber the whole time. He did go down to 106 health, but just held it anyway. So looks like they are just going to be going for a shot at Uber here, clearing off the stickies, and now they can probably walk, but the gun is there, so they can just use off the gun nice, use the gun nice and early. They kill Class as well with the stickies, with a bit of overflow damage. Bud now on this beam, trying to do as much damage as he can, and he's going to get stuck on the low ground. Rotates back into spawn. Wolf's going to be bombing on to this point. Nice flow comes out from Lenny to keep it alive a little bit longer versus that heavy. Now they're going to jump onto the rim and kill off Mankey. Bud's the last survivor. He goes down. It's going to be 1-1.
Clean, one at a time little push there. Take down the targets as they fall into your lap, and there you go, 1-1. This is a match on our hands. These teams are not taking the punches. They are going fast. They are going at breakneck speeds. We're 5 minutes and 2 rounds down already, so well, here's some more in this next little mid fight.
Yeah. Heading into the next mid here, we have got Shappy rolling out nice and fast. Let's get that pack, and also they're going to send a soldier to drop on this time. Ryan's going to be doing it. Wolf's going to be bombing to his own side. Very, very nice counter aggression onto that soldier's face, as Hexery is the only player to go down so far, and they have got Wolf still going in. Ryan has managed to slip in behind now. Good damage onto Menex. He gets forced all the way back to Big Door. Class on the low ground is going to clean up onto Walt. Good damage has been dealt, and he gets cleaned up as well. Now, Mankey is stuck in choke behind, and I think they know he's safe. Yeah, they do.
Yeah, I mean, even if Ryan didn't, he had better health. He turned around just checking if he was there, and that's all it took to really win that fight regardless. Like, all Mankey could hope for is that somehow there's like onset amnesia for the entirety of Wheelchair, that they just forgot there could be a soldier there, and then he slips in. So, yeah, he did the most he could, basically, and Wheelchair gonna keep rolling this forward. The Ubers are equal this time, though. It wasn't a very decisive mid-win for them, but just kind of eats it. He decided, whatever. It's over already.
He's got to make the numbers up on the death somehow.
He needs to hit his death threshold, otherwise it's not a true Bud game. It's very important.
Yeah, Gaben starts looking at his Steam account being like, there's no way he played this game. Someone else is playing on that account, he sold it, and then he gets banned. So he's got to make up the numbers somehow.
Well, I'm gonna have another little last ult here out of the Garda. Ryan trying to be a little bit cheeky, maybe try and go for a bit of cap pressure there, but obviously that didn't quite work out. He just gets instantly annihilated. And then Mankey somehow dies. I don't know what he tried to do, but Bud slipped in and tried to go for a bomb, but that didn't end up happening either.
+1.
What are Garda doing right now? I don't really know what the strategy is. Let them go. Let them go. There's a strategy here. There's something going on, okay? They got the Uber exchange now. They have Menex on the Pyros while air blasting everybody out of the way, so somehow this Uber exchange is still in their favor, despite the fact that they lost both of their soldiers in that. It's going to be in the post fight that's going to really decide if Wheelchair have any chance here, and as it stands, it doesn't look like they do. They lost Warped already. There goes Playgray as well, and, well, okay, Mankey trades out with Lenny getting the kill there, but still, yeah.
I am very confused at the moment, certainly, as to what's going on in this game. I think they're trying to...
It's not stupid if it works.
Shappy is showing Menex that you can look through the floor onto last.
Ryan, I think like Ryan knew that was going to happen, that was going to befall upon him, but hey, at the very least, maybe this is a chance for Garda to find a way back on in second, and it very well is. Oh my god, actually eating so much damage on the combo, and Bud just nukes them! He just nukes them! They just aren't allowed to leave! The bouncer has said, no, you are not allowed to leave here, and Lenny goes down as well as Hex, and, well, Garda's just gonna keep rolling this forward. Ryan's gonna try to be cheeky, maybe with a high bomb, but he doesn't find any valuable target, but cleans up that kill very nicely as well. Cheeky little air shot to clean it up, and Garda are in control this round right now.
Yeah, mainly Bud is in control of this round, but Hexery on this forward spawner is going to eat 2 stickies and die. He held that for way too long, and looks like they're going to be shoved all the way back onto last hit. Things have gone from bad to worse for the side of Wheelchair, and now they're going to be seeing this Uber all the way into last. Playgray is alone in water. Let's see what he can do here. He's having to stick him on the scout. Actually, he's not alone. Ryan's there as well, but Medic's going to be running into Playgray's face. Good damage has been dealt to this demo man. He's going to have to walk up through water on very minimal HP. Try and defend his point. He is doing his best. He tries. Oh no! Oh, Theos gets the bow. They kill off onto Lenny, and now Scout versus Soldier on the point. It's not what you want. Mankey
he just gets juggled off the point out of the cap zone, and there you go. 2-1 for Garda. A bit of a Bit of a scuffed push, you could say, but it worked out in the end, and that's all that matters. They're up around once more, and we got 21 minutes left of this goddamn chaos. I'm looking forward to it as this next little mid-fight is gonna go underway. For so far, we have seen Wheelchair in control of these. Let's see if they can continue being in control of these mid-fights, or if Garda are gonna find their way back into it with another dominant mid of their own. As both teams are just exchanging a little bit of damage here. Bud is going to be the first to fall on the side there. There goes Kilsis as well, and that's the nail in the coffin right there. There goes Chappie. It is over for Garda. They cannot even try to do something here. Mankey's going to try to be cheeky, going for drop down. We're probably well aware of the fact that there should be a soldier there who is now trying to kill his scout friend, and it didn't even succeed with that, as the rest of the team cleans up Eos as well. There you go. Now that's a pretty dominant mid out of Wheelchair here.
I'd call that pretty good. That's pretty darn successful. Yeah, pretty good. Yeah. Very nice. Anyway, yeah. So they managed to get that one through, and also Mankey at the end there, trying to do the classic Garda, let's just send the flank in while everyone else is dead sort of play. Unfortunately, it doesn't work out for them and ends up in the same fate as before, where it's just going to be holding last with all 60 players. And they have some time here on the side of Wheelchair to get buffed up before they make this push happen. They're going to be buffed as much as they can until the pause comes.
Don't tell me Lenny crashed again.
If he crashed, I'll be upset.
Don't tell me that Lenny crashed again.
Please. No.
There's no way, right? There's no way Lenny crashed again. He probably crashed again, but let's be honest. What's the deal? Riddle me this, right? What's the deal with medics crashing in Prem? I was gonna say like British internet, but obviously Lenny, that doesn't apply here. But like, what's the deal with like medics having terrible internet connections? I feel like this is a trend that's been continuing in the recent years.
Yeah. Sort of, yeah. It's always medics that crash as well. It's the most unfortunate one. Why is it never just a scout or a soldier that crash, huh? Why is it always the important classes?
Well, I mean, this is if it is actually Lenny crashing, this is terrible for Wheelchair, because we're in such a nice position to try and convert this into a round, and now they're gonna instead probably have to perhaps even lose the round, which would suck.
Hopefully it's after a mid-fight or something, where Lenny's already dead or something.
Yeah. If they botch this push somehow and then Lenny crashes, it's over. I don't know what to say after that.
Hopefully he doesn't like crash mid-Uber. That would be really bad.
I think that's probably the worst thing that could possibly happen, yeah. Apparently, according to Samus, it might have been Kilsis instead that crashed.
Okay, that's fine then.
They were losing anyway.
Yeah, it's certainly a scout. It'll do. When it's a medic, it's terrible though, because like the other team could just be like, "Nope, we're not giving you a charge. Screw you."
We want to make use of our time efficiently.
Indeed. It gives us time to do a little bit of a crep check. Speaking of cosmetics, Lenny's got the AZN hat. We've got to be careful with those.
How about he's a medic, so who cares?
Being able to see through walls.
As long as he doesn't abuse. Anyway, they're gonna Uber in. The pause has come to a close, so here they go. And it's gonna be a Wheelchair to try and convert this round once more. They've done it like this the last time around as well, but they're struggling a little bit this time to really take the ground they wanted. Lenny has gone down already. There goes Warped and Plague and Sinzled out. Everybody's friggin' dead. It's only Ryan hiding behind the spawn, and yeah, he gets spotted out as well. So that was a bit of a disastrous push for for Wheelchair here. That did not go their way whatsoever. They just could not get anywhere. Menix with that pyro was a menace on the high ground there, just denying anything, not dying, staying alive for the entire time. And Garda retakes second easily. Just like that.
Indeed, easy peasy lemon squeezy, and they're going to start making their way in towards second as well. Theos is going to now have his supercharged. Warp does go down on mid, so that's a little bit unfortunate for them, and being one player down and losing mid, and now they can start snowballing this, and likely it's just going to be straight into a big dog push, and they're going to start rolling all the way through. Lenny and Zinzel that have already tucked their tails between their legs and run back to the river all the way south.
I hate to say that I'm starting to see a pattern here, but there's a pattern here where Wheelchair wins the mid, they go all the way to last with an Uber ad, and they botch the push and then get coast-to-coasted by Garda, and that's happening again this round. I mean, at least they have an Uber this time to try and protect their class, and this is where Kilsis crashed as well, so I doubt this push is going to go Garda's way, but at the very, very least, you know, now they're on their own last. The side of Wheelchair, and they're still getting pressured onto the point. Bud is not giving that one up for free. So yeah, Wheelchair, they like, if they stumble, they fall all the way down the cliff, huh?
Yeah, that's just kind of how it rolls. They end up losing the last push, they go all the way back to their own last. But Hexery dying on the shutter here is really bad, because now they're going to have so many players from Garda who are going to be able to be unchecked
Manky sniper
completely here.
as well.
Manky on sniper has a good angle to Lenny, lands the body shot but doesn't get the kill.
Scary, dangerous. Ryan is there to clean it up, but still, that was dangerous. Just letting him get that free of an angle the entire time. They didn't even cap second off either. Now Ryan is trying to just buy some time for his team here. Maybe be a bit of a nuisance. As Kelsey's flanks around, Warp is in with the bomb as well to follow up. Maybe gets a bit of the field, but he can't clean it. He finally gets it. All right, just as he trades out for the sword, he manages to get that crucial frag onto Theos there, and Lenny's gonna have a full Uber to work with. Now they just gotta push it out of last somehow without losing or getting back capped.
Yep. See what they can do here. I mean, there's always a threat on Gullywash of getting back up, but this Manky sniper from Big Door, hopefully it's not going to find too much here, because they will have to push through top against the Blood Soldier and the spam coming out from Shappy, and they're starting to move their heals through that area. Playgrade's going to find Class, who tries to move through lower, and unfortunately he gets killed off, so no real back captains coming through there, so Bing chilling.
Bud and Ryan just do a nice little ballet and trade each other out on a second here, but it's not going to be enough to slow down Wheelchair anytime soon. They're just going to cap that second, keep moving forward. Manky is still on the sniper, but I feel like he's not going to commit to it for too much longer, maybe? I feel like as soon as he dies, he's definitely off of it, but either way, I guess he's trying to be a bit cheeky with it, maybe catch somebody off guard. You've probably seen the dot, though, or at the very least kind of think that he might still be on sniper, right? Yeah, well, anyway, he's dead, so it doesn't matter. The Ubers come in, and yeah, they just clean house.
Class is in a very odd spot. He's now in elbow, and he's just...
how did he get there?
He was hiding in the ceiling of elbow. He's still creeping around. He's running in behind. He's onto the medic. Is he gonna get the kill? He's bought them enough time, though. The medic has come in with medics, and he has killed them all. Yeah, very, very nice stuff.
These Garda scouts are a menace, dude. This is not okay. If you're Lenny here, you must be feeling extreme pain. This is unbelievable.
Yeah, there's nothing but cringe in his mindset right now. So, Warped has managed to slip in through the choke, though. Has been spotted out. Bomb onto Theos. Nice little surf.
Oh,
good damage.
nice.
Finds the last rocket. Beautiful stuff.
Clean.
Shappy staring at the corpse of his medic.
Surgically removed like the spleen out of an organ donor. Just got rid of that medic real quick. No problem. Anyway, I don't know what I was doing with that one. It was a good,
like, yeah. We've been casting for a long time, right, dude? I'm giving you a break on that one, alright?
Anyway,
I'm always terrible, so welcome to my world.
Warp salvaging it for his team there, definitely, as Wheelchair have a chance to keep rolling forward. Now, Lenny's gonna have a bit of an add to right home as well. Is it gonna be enough to actually make something happen? Nah, they're gonna have to give up it for the time being, and by the time they like have any like re-push mounted, the Ubers are gonna be equal again anyway, so we're gonna be looking at this for now. Halfway through the map now only. It feels like it's been 2 hours, but it's only been 15 minutes, and yeah, Guard is still one round up for the time being anyway.
Indeed. I mean, 15 minutes remaining on the clock is a long, long time for this to go either way still. So, considering the rounds that you've had, it's only a 2-1 at the moment, it's still all to play for. I don't think you're feeling any pressure if you're Wheelchair at the moment. You can still just play defensively and just chill on second. I mean, the blue team are in the position where they should be sacking into second, see what they can do here. They are on the front foot, so we'll see what they can do here. Or they'll just opt to just Bing chill on mid and then just send it back to another mid fight, who knows?
Yeah, I mean, Garda are up around again if they wanna take it slow, take it steady. That's their thing. They're not the type of team to do that though, so I feel like they're slowly peeking and prodding through Big Door here, seeing if they can get some spam done, get some cheeky little bit of damage that could open things up for them. And we're into another pause, I believe, so that's nice.
Pause City.
We're gonna be here all night.
Yeah, we're not gonna go to bed on time. I think Dumtum's just gonna lock us in the studio and that's it. We're gonna just starve to death in the night.
That was a short one though, maybe, or just a quick unpause post. No, okay.
Was it Lenny? Oh, it's Lenny. That's not good.
That's not good at all. Especially considering they're already on the back foot, and yeah, I think Wheelchair are going to be in a world of hurt here. At least the Lenny pauses are quick, you know, he reconnects very quickly. I'll give him that. He does a good job with that, but yeah. Either way, with that little pause ended, now, again, we still have Garda on the forward foot here. They're trying to get their way into second somehow. They're peeking and prodding, they've rotated over to choke now, seeing if they can somehow open something up here. Ryan has dropped down the drop down, and it doesn't look like anybody's the wiser. It doesn't really look like anybody's really checked for him. for the time being. He could have easily snuck up. If only he knew. Oh, he's so clueless right now. If only he knew. Now he just jumps back up, drop down instead. He could have gone for a miracle play there, but opts not doing it. Goes for the safer thing instead, which is continuing stalemate. Fair enough.
Indeed, I mean, you know, you can't really force them too hard, but
Yeah.
let's see what they can do here. They are trying to slip a player into lower here, but Mankey's trying to debt the sticks. He doesn't actually jump in. He is now in behind. Success!
Nobody seems to really care about it either. They certainly didn't send anybody back on the set of wheelchair. They don't even have sticks on the shutter either. Playgray is kind of just like, he's still holding down big door. Killsis is going to have a lot of ground in there as well now because Playgray is so passive. And okay, they have warped up on high ground. Mankey's just going to try to bomb the point. He's going to go for a nice double bomb onto lane. He gets the force. Beautifully done. That is what you like to see. Absolutely wonderful work. And there you go.
Deals use as well.
Oh, okay. Well, never mind. I guess it didn't matter.
He used to save Bud in choke.
Right.
Which was an interesting
right here. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, is there any sportsmanship? Is chivalry dead?
They're gonna have Bud give him saws, apparently.
Okay, there we go. Chivalry is not dead. We're all good.
That's the idea anyway. Or they're just gonna let Lenny build. What either way, there is sportsmanship in this one. I guess this one this time it was a little bit better. But yeah, they're just gonna wait for Lenny to have that Uber ready, and then they're gonna recontinue this fight as it should be. Fair enough. Fair enough. So, considering it didn't actually go anywhere, I mean, partially maybe because Lenny crashed. Like, otherwise, I feel like Garda could have totally continued that. But, you know, I think, how is this gonna... they're just gonna reset here, right? They're gonna do the same thing again, probably. They're gonna try to get a player in through lower again, try and get him into lobby, try and get him onto the medic, and just try to repeat. Or they're just gonna send in Bud through the choke this time around. And oh, there was Mankey on Spy! I completely blanked on that. I wasn't even paying attention to the fact that Mankey was on Spy, and as soon as they continued to fight, he just does that. You know, I want to say that's kind of a little BM, because he snuck in while nobody was really...
That is pretty dirty, like, how they do that. That is quite filthy to do.
It's actually hilarious, but it's also extremely bad-mannered. I love it.
That is a classic Garda Panteri maneuver, that one.
Yeah, that is very on brand.
I was like, they did it how they were meant to, and no, Mankey just goes Spy, and yeah, fantastic. Anyway.
Unbelievable. Well, now they're gonna have to last. They have no Uber either. Theos obviously didn't have to use, but hey, Lenny's gonna be building quite quickly. And here comes the Uber out of Garda. They're gonna send it towards the point immediately. Menix does what he does best, which is go on the point and then go under and kill Playgray, who is completely caught off guard by the fact that the scout was suddenly behind him. How did that happen? Well, they're gonna just get a ton of cap time, and now even with some of these players for wheelchair trying to block the point, it simply is not enough. 3-1 for Garda with 10.5 minutes left on the timer. It's starting to look like a runaway game for Garda.
Indeed it does. But there's still 10 minutes left on the clock, so we're going to see what they can do here. The mid-fights have been looking pretty good for Wheelchair, so if they can get another good momentum on their mid-fight, the only thing that they're worried about is really pushing last. So here we go, another mid-fight occurring.
Let's see if they can finally somehow manage to take it to a last for once. Ryan is going to immediately try to with Chappie as early as he possibly can on his mid-fight. That's going pretty well for them. Close to take that as well, but they find Lenny on the other side, which is quite disastrous if you're Wheelchair here, because Theos is now protected by 2 players on second, so you're going to have a hard time getting in there, especially when you don't have heals. So they're just going to settle for capping mid and then, well, leave it at that, I suppose, for the time being anyway.
Some very interesting sticky traps coming out from Playgray here. We've got one in the corner of the structure and one on the left-hand side. So probably going to be trying to catch players just jumping through there. And both soldiers at the choke. This is a very, very classic sort of hold that we see nowadays. Just try and force that medic as he comes through the door with all the spam that you produce. Big door is the weak element of all this, and yeah, they just use through directly, and they're going to manage to jump all their players away, apart from Ryan, who does get caught in the end. But that is pretty good as far as things go.
Yeah, you just force that Uber out early, make sure that they don't get too much ground with it, manage to get mid off the back of it. Hex dying here is a bit of a problem though, because now you can't really deny these Bud Mankey bombs that are going to go ravaging your team as Playgray gets taken down, and now Lenny has to just run away with whatever he still has to salvage here, and they're all so low! Poor Lenny just barely escaping with the skin of his teeth for now, but Mankey's already on the chase as well, and he's committed. He's very much committed. it wasn't for Ryan, well, looking his way, he could have easily killed Zinzald out there, so lucky them, but I guess they're gonna hang on to it for now. But Garda, again, find themselves in a wonderful position. Even if they're down on Uber, they are holding second, and they know that, well, there's a struggle for Wheelchair to really push out here. They find Bud early.
Class is
they
going
got forced, though.
It's
No.
all over. It's Jova, some would say, but Ryan's there on the defense. Oh, Class has become the Rim Reaper, has tie against Hexery, and he goes down in the end. So the back captain turn was thwarted, but Lenny is now on second, all on his own, and it's a whole other disaster on the other side as Theos finds the supercharge, pops out just in time so Shappy doesn't die, and now they're going to kill everyone else. As Insult that stuff on this low ground, he's going to get sworded to the face probably by one sort or another. Nope, it's going to be a bullet rather than that, and Hexery on the high ground on very weak HP, and he's very, very weak. He ends up dying in the end.
I think Wheelchair is crumbling a little bit here. I think they're crumbling ever so slightly. They get forced early trying to get into that second. Can't find any ground with it. Kills pulls back 2 players as well. It is an absolute disaster all the way through. Now they're on last again with not just an Uber disad, but also losing players. Well, they lose Warp, I guess, and find just a bit of stabilization by killing Bud and Chappie, but they've only bought themselves so much time. They're building so fast on Theos as well already. Even if they're trying to chase this out, they have to get insane amounts of frags here. Mankey being a good opener for that. Gonna open things up on second for them. Actually stabilizing. Wheelchair are coming back into this ever so slightly.
Yes, but Uber ad for the side of Garda Panteri. They're going to start heading in towards second, and Lenny is currently up in river, but Hexery, he's hung out to dry. They have used just to kill Hexery on second. Shappy is actually bombing for it as well.
Gotta respect it. Gotta respect it. Counter Uber comes out of Wheelchair now. They're gonna try to make something happen. And, well, to be fair, both teams basically use their Ubers to kill a single scout each. I would argue that is efficient use of Uber charges, because screw the scout class, right? Everybody hates the scout class. Yeah, exactly. At least they managed to stop Garda for recap in second, and now Ryan has fed into a sticky trap, but they're putting some pressure onto mid. Would you look at that? Wheelchair doing their best, and Mankey's on the back half.
Mankey has Bane Train, and he's headed all the way back through River. He gets health back as well, so he's going to win the 1v1 against Warped, most likely, as Warped whips out the pickaxe and dies in River. Hexery is there on the defense, though. And the Bane Train makes you weak to bullets, but Playgray, no! Not like this!
Finds Playgray as well, gets a little bit of damage onto him, so he ends up dying to his own sticky. That is so unfortunate, and now they're on last with their Uber as well. It's only Tinseldat and Lenny, and both of them have no health or any position to block this whatsoever. Mankey, kind of crazy, huh? Kind of crazy with his little back cap shenanigans here.
Yeah, I mean, that entire round was won by Mankey, I would say. Like, that was pretty goddamn good from him, just surviving all that time and doing everything he did. Managing to pick up Playgray as well, that was pretty sick. So, anyway, 5 minutes, 40 remaining, Cerny. It's looking pretty dire if you're Wheelchair now.
Yeah, I think they've kind of just run out of steam. I'll be honest. I think they just kind of ran out of steam. You know, Lenny crashing probably took all the wind out of your sails if you ever had any. Even the Smith fight is going all right now. I mean, they're doing phenomenally, all things considered. They lost Lenny, but besides that, they certainly are in a great position to maybe bring back a round or 2 even here. But do they have what it takes to bring back 3 rounds in 5 minutes and then take it to a golden cap?
Playgray is screaming send it at the top of his lungs right now, trying to get his entire team to run forwards. He is currently on second, setting up some sticky traps, getting ready, but I don't think Garda Panteri are just going to even leave there on last. They're probably just going to set up a sentry gun and Bing chill on last. On Gullywash, it's not the most reliable thing to do in the world. Just setting up a gun and chilling on last. It's not Snakewater. You can't just do that and hope that nothing's going to happen. But in terms of just burning as much clock time as possible, this is the way to go about it. That's most effective.
Yeah, it's certainly all they have to do. And even if they lose a round here or 2, as long as they just, burn them, even just 30 seconds off the clock, 30 seconds off the clock is very valuable to Wheelchair right now. It means almost nothing to Garda. So any amount of time, even just a 10-second respawn they can buy is good enough for them. That's just gonna secure them even more. Now we're down to 4 minutes for 3 rounds. It's starting to get into the mathematical impossibility of even...
Oh, they're opting for Sniper here as well. I don't feel like this is the play, but they're doing it anyway. I don't think they'd expect the Sniper, though, but he has not really got anything that he can see apart from Class on the Pyro, and the Soldier sees him anyway and he dies. So, yeah, that's exactly just, you can't play this slow. You just got to send some sacks and prayer words.
And unfortunately, it's not working. Oh god, Mankey gets destroyed by Ryan. Nice little shot there, but Is that really all? That's just a nice little consolation prize at best. That's all you've got for now. Oh, there goes Playgray, walks into Shappy's sticky trap as well. And there's a backhand? Ryan took a page out of Mankey's playbook, evidently. I can't believe it. There's no way, right?
2-4. It's a good start.
2 rounds, 3 minutes. It's possible. It's actually possible.
But
Do we
tiny
believe?
brain cannot comprehend what just happened to him, and he writes "how?" in the chat because he doesn't understand how capture points work. Anyway, heading into another mid fight here. Bombs coming in real deep, walking in nice and deep onto Shappy. Class goes down as well. Really good aggression coming outside of Wheelchair. Theos is currently still alive though. He is still out of this mid, and looks like Mankey is going for a drop down because he's a complete goblin. And Hexer is going to try and win that fight against him, but running forward is Menex. He needs to get healed desperately by Theos, but it's looking rather unfortunate.
Oh, no,
now
but
there, a player disadvantage.
Bud is there as well.
Who's doing the bomb? Lenny hits a little bit of surf. Playgrade's now got to take 1v3, and he's going to go down here, and Lenny hits Killbind, and I think that is all she wrote. Sag face.
The control point has been captured.
These Garda soldiers, man, they slip in through the tiniest of cracks, and you're just like minding your own business, fighting off the team, hanging on, you know, doing your thing, and suddenly Bud's behind you. You could have sworn he was in front of you just 2 seconds ago, and suddenly he's behind you, and you're dead. Well, that's how it goes, and that seals the deal for Wheelchair here. Yeah, they have to go to the relegation match on Sunday to have another chance at making it to Prem. Otherwise, they got to stick to Div 1, which, yeah, well, considering the core of that team was a Div 2 team before last season, and then they got put into Prem inadvertently, I don't think they're going to be too upset about, all things considered.
Yep, looks like Theos does go down. The super push does go rather south, but 1 minute 50 remaining. They have to convert this round in 50 seconds if they want to make it happen, which yeah, technically is possible, I guess, but I don't think it's going to happen. They're going to slow him down quite a lot. Class is in behind as well. He can probably kill off a player here. He is hiding over Playgray. He is going to maybe get... Oh, Playgray! What a demon! Holy God.
I believe that in order to win 2 rounds in the remaining 90 seconds, Wheelchair have to somehow figure out a way to defy the laws of physics.
Send it. The full send.
They have to quantum teleport to the point as soon as they can capture it. It's the only way. They are killing it right now in terms of fragging out these Garda players. And I might eat my words if they can somehow keep up this miraculous momentum and Garda somehow just continue to, well, you know, have a bit of fun considering they're already thinking it's garbage time. But 60 seconds, 2 rounds. It is possible from the position they're in, but they have to go extraordinarily quickly, and every second they're wasting is a second that they're not going to get back, and they don't even have an Uber to go to last with here, so... yeah, it's going to require a miracle. It's going to require literal divine interference, somehow. God has to smite down the entirety of Garda right now, otherwise it's not happening.
Menex with his sword smites too, so he's like the paladin that could, and he's just killing everyone, so... No, hopes and dreams in the bin. Bud types GG. It's all over. 30 seconds remaining. Ladies and gentlemen, Garda Panteri heading into the Premiership division for next season. Big congratulations to them. But really, really good show from Wheelchair, showing lots and lots of promise. If they don't manage to get into Prem in the last chance qualifiers, then they sure as hell are likely going to win Division 1. So who knows what's going to happen here.
They are showing that they are capable. I think part of it might have been just game going on for a little bit too long. They ran out of steam, out of energy, whatever, right? They didn't technically have their full roster. Ryan was a standard. So at the end of the day, you can have all the copes you want that way. But they still put up an admirable performance. Absolutely. They showed us that they could deserve to be in Prem. They gave Garda a run for the money. They really put up a good fight. And I don't know who won the other matchup. So I don't know who they're going to go up against on Sunday.
Does anybody in the chat know who won between Hugie and the Frenchies? I want to say the Frenchies will win, but the Hugie team is actually really good, so... Does anybody know the Kuna team won? Okay.
Yeah, okay, so they're going
really
up against...
sad, Omga. You guys are really good, so I'm upset. But the last chance qualifier is going to be between the Hugie team, so Varconf Boogie versus Wheelchair. That will be another excellent game, so I'm excited to see that one rolls out. But just staring at some logs here. How many deaths did Bud get? 21. Yep, he's met his quota for the month. He can now sleep like a happy boy.
Oh, Mankey actually beat him.
Oh, Mankey did beat him. Ryan beat him, 28.
Oh, damn. Actually, every soldier beat Bud. Bud was the lowest dying soldier that round.
Holy God.
Talk about a glow up.
Yeah, he has had a glow up. What the hell? What happened?
Incredible.
God damn.
Damn. Well, if you want to analyze this, go ahead. I'm done.
My,
There's nothing to say here anymore.
my
man.
analysis is that Garda Panteri just at the end of the day ended up playing a
More
bit
stamina.
better. More stamina.
stamina.
They lasted longer. I mean, I wish I had that level of stamina, but I always finish in 3 seconds. Anyway, any shout-outs you want to do, Cerny?
Watch the game on Sunday. That's my shout out. That's all I have to say.
I'll throw my shout-outs out there. Shout-outs to Samus for producing. You're incredible. Shout-outs to Turbo Dad as well. For probably sitting behind and just being chilling watching this game. Shout outs to Bad Juju as well. Shout outs to Alien Workshop and all my boys, and to Nutcase and Crockett and all those people. Love you lots. Anyway, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in this evening. And like Sony said, make sure you tune in on Sunday as well. Thank you for watching this game, and peace.